I told you I'm here to get it, cause baby I'm in my prime. So if you want it, come with it, nobody dimming my shine. Been a long time, homie, since I first got down. Still on top of my game, forever play to the crowd. When I'm in front of a mic and I'm in the spotlight, the Gridiron, man, we taking y'all on a flight. Always coming for the hardcore, this is what I work for. Got 'em feeling for some more, they yelling encore. Verbally, I'm bringing heat to the streets. The flame spitter, my squad, nothing but winners, and you'll never see a quitter. Cause adversity is part of the plan. Just as sure as you go, always bob your head to the jam. So turn your volume up, you can see me up on your screen. Kicking knowledge like you need it, y'all some football fiends. Bringing heat at 100, we the realest around. Welcome to the Gridiron, baby, it's going down now. Like the music buzzing in amps. When I hit the end zone, fans are rocking the stands. Cause I'm an all-day known until the break of the dawn. Not Zeke, but I'ma eat the way I'm seeing the film. It's the battle hymn, homie, gonna bang in your ear. And when they hear it, they gon' know the Kings is here. All-day known until the break of the dawn. Not Zeke, but I'ma eat the way I'm seeing the film. I'm here to get mine, never gonna dwell on the past. Always moving forward, I won't take my foot off the gas. And I'm ready for the battle and whatever may come. I fight from up in the saddle, go and beat that war drum. If you want some, get some, wicked about to get dumb. Got the crowd getting loud, everybody heads from. Hitting hard and coming stronger like a buck from a cage. Like Micah, I'm a lion busting out of my cage. Cause y'all ain't holding me now, I'll break your bury you down. Go and check your books, cause there ain't no play to be found. They can counter what I'm bringing, you ain't figure me out. Hitting suckers from their gut to their chest and their mouth. And now we steady climbing up to the top. You trying to get on our level, they watch your ass get dropped. You was your boy on the track, the OG double G. I'm rolling with the heavy hitter, yeah, that's Jersey the King. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. What's going on, y'all? Welcome into the show. It's your boy Jersey the King. Got a good show for you today. UFL talk. It's going down. Season's about to start. A lot to talk about as we get ready for the beginning of the new UFL season. So sit back, relax, holla at your boy. Gabe's not going to be here today. He had a family emergency, so please pray for him and his family, most definitely. And that's it there. So it's just going to be me today. Like I said, just pray for Gabe and his family. He had a family emergency overnight, so please just keep him in your prayers. And let's get it popping, man. It's the Gridiron. It's your boy Jersey the King. Let's go. Yes, sir. Happy Saturday, everyone, and welcome to the Gridiron Podcast Show. I am one of your co-hosts, Jersey the King, and it's live today, right here from Las Vegas Studios, or the Gridiron Studios in Las Vegas, Nevada. Sorry. Again, as I said before, Gabe will not be here with us today. He had a family emergency overnight, so please pray for him and his family. And what's going on, GV? How you doing today, bro? Make sure y'all definitely keep him in your prayers for sure. I want to really take a moment here to let you guys know we got big things coming. A lot of things are in store for the show, the Fuel Network, the whole Legion. There's a lot of things coming, so I want you guys to really be prepared for this. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna spill the beans. You know what I mean? GB, hope you had a good morning, man, or a good night. Hope your morning's going well. I know it's afternoon time over there for you guys, so I hope you had a good morning as well, and your afternoon's going well. And be ready for some UFL talk today, because that's mainly what we're going to focus on today. Not a lot going on in the NFL except for free agency, and I want to wait till Gabe is back to talk deeper into the NFL free agency starting and possibly, some big moves being made. But as far as today goes, we're going to really dive into the UFL. But yeah, man, like I said, we got a lot of things coming. You know, Fuel has a lot of things coming. Dirty and A Train have been hard at work, man. So I'm really proud of them guys. But there's a lot of things coming, guys. There's a lot of things coming. We got some fan mail today from my boy Hit, who unfortunately can't see the show live today because of me not being able to stream on YouTube. So if it was possible for me to like stream it on Discord right now as well, then he'd be able to watch live, but wouldn't be able to comment. So that's the only bad thing. But at the end of the day, it's the Gridiron Podcast Show. It's your boy Jersey the King. It's football. It's Saturday. It's time to talk. We're gonna get into some UFL news immediately. And one of the things I want to start off with before we get into anything deep, AJ McCarron and Jordan Ta'amu is back. Also, Luis Perez is back. Like, it's official that Luis Perez is back. You know what I'm saying? It's official that your boy AJ McCarron back. It's official that Jordan Ta'amu was back for the DC Defenders. So three of the best teams from last season, and I can't even really say three of the best teams because Arlington wasn't one of the best teams. They just won the championship. They did well enough to win the championship. So, with that being said, I think that you have three of the best quarterbacks coming back. And to be honest, I think that we got to give Luis his credit, man. Luis Perez is one of the best quarterbacks in spring football. He's a legend, and him coming back, as well as him coming back for the Arlington Renegades, as well as Ta'amu coming back for the DC Defenders, and AJ McCarron coming back for the St. Louis Battlehawks. That gives three of the best teams in the league starting quarterbacks who can take them to the championship. You get what I mean? So I'm excited for these three being back. I think that's going to take this season to another level. Without them three being in there, I think it would have been harder for the quarterback play to be stellar. But now we know for sure, at least on three teams, we're going to have stellar quarterback play. Stellar quarterback play. So I'm excited for this. I think this is going to be really, really good for the league. I think this is going to be something that's super positive moving forward. And, the future of the league is just going to be top notch. It's going to be next levels because now we have three quarterbacks that we know for sure can win games for these teams. So, and also put their teams in winning situations at any given time in the game. So it's going to be exciting to see. I'm really, really excited to see this. But what do you guys think? Did you think that Luis was going to not come back at any point in time? Did anybody feel that Luis Perez was not going to come back? Did anybody feel that Ta'amu or McCarron was not going to come back? I mean, I'm not going to lie. I honestly, at one point in time, didn't think that AJ McCarron was going to come back because of what he said in his interview about, the pay being cut or being changed, I should say, and also, the union, players having to join the union or forced to join the union. And I just think that, him making the decision to come back, I think it all has to do with being able to play in front of his children again. You know what I mean? Because as we know, he wasn't able to play in front of his children like that, being a backup in Cincinnati in the NFL again. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I think that's one of the decisions or one of the factors that played into his decision, excuse me, when it came down to him coming back to the UFL and or spring football, I should say, because what he said in that interview, you would think that he wasn't going to come back, but I think the fact that he wants to play in front of his children is a major factor in why he chose the UFL and not to go back to the NFL. Maybe he thinks that it's just destined for him to be in the UFL and just be a star quarterback in the UFL. You know what I mean? He won the MVP in the XFL last year. Why not try and win the MVP in the UFL? You know what I mean? So, and Jordan Talon coming back, that's huge. You know what I mean? That's huge for the the St. Louis Battlehawks. It really, really is because now you get, the reigning MVP of the XFL coming back and starting for a loaded roster. You know what I mean? So I think AJ coming back is going to be the biggest factor, to be honest. I think AJ coming back is going to be the biggest factor as far as quarterback play because St. Louis, they know they needed a quarterback. They know they needed a quarterback. So I think AJ coming back is huge for them. They have more weapons for him. They just need a running back. Honestly, I think that's one thing for sure that I could say that they need. They need a running back. And don't get me wrong, Mateo and I believe Durant is the other running back for St. Louis. Don't get me wrong, they're not bad running backs, but I think they need a Morgan Ellison or somebody like that. You know what I mean? Max Borgi would have been huge for them, but him not wanting to play this season and sitting out this season is a real big deal at the running back position for them. So that's going to be a void that they need to fill, in my opinion. Some people may not agree, but in my opinion, I think that's a void that they definitely need to fill. I don't think Mateo or Durant could fill that. Now, I believe they might have picked up Wayne Gallman from the Giants, from the New York Giants, but I have to double check that, guys. I'm not going to sit here and just put out information that I'm not 100% about. But yeah, I really think that a running back position is something that the Battlehawks need in order to really contend this season with this merged league. You know what I mean, and make a push for the playoffs because they were good last season in the XFL. With what they had, and now that the team is a little changed up, I think that they have a little bit more talent than what they had last year as well. And I think that they can really make some noise in the XFL conference as well. So we'll see. And of course, DC, Jordan Tom coming back for DC, that's huge for them. You know what I mean? Their roster is still stacked from last season in the XFL. So, it's going to be interesting to see how Ta'amu plays this season and what he does for DC because, again, DC stacked. We got a lot of stacked rosters right now with training camp starting. And speaking of training camp starting, yes, players have reported. Training camp has started for all 8 teams. Coaches have been announced. Coaching staffs have been announced for all 8 teams as well. And that's huge. You know what I mean? That's showing that the UFL is prepared. You know what I mean? I guess you can say they're prepared. Um, but we got announcements this week of all the coaching staffs for each team. And I'll go ahead and pull that up for you guys so you can see in case you missed it. But yeah, we got Arlington's coaching staff there, as you can see. Bob Stoops returning as head coach. Um, Rick Mueller is the general manager. Reggie Davis is the tight ends running backs coach. Jay Hayes, the defensive coordinator. Jonathan Heimbaugh is the offensive line coach. Chuck Long is the offensive coordinator and QBs and our wide receivers coach. Matt McMillan is the quality control coach. Marvin Sanders, the defensive backs coach. Bill Sheridan, linebackers coach. Scott Spurrier, quality control and special teams. Skip Holtz, of course, the head coach of the Birmingham Stallions. Then you got Zach Potter as your general manager. Chris Benoit as special teams and tight ends coach. Corey Chamberlain, secondary. John Chavis, defensive coordinator and linebackers. David D. Guillemot, I believe I said that right. Offensive line coach. Bill Johnson, defensive line coach. Mike Jones, wide receivers. Philip Montgomery, co-offensive coordinator, running backs and tight ends coach. And then Derek Riley, assistant secondary. Not bad. Now returning for the DC Defenders as the head coach is Reggie Barlow, of course. Then you got Von Hutchins as the general manager. Vern Dean is the defensive backs coach. Fred Case as the offensive coordinator. Sean Anderson is the wide receivers coach. Russ Ehrenfeld, is the offensive line coach. Deion Harris, linebackers coach. Shannon Harris, quarterbacks coach. Jeremy Watkins, defensive line. Greg Williams returning as the defensive coordinator. For Roughnecks, you got C.J. Johnson as the head coach. Lionel Vital as the general manager. Garrett Cheshire as the special teams and running backs coach. Bob Conley, offensive line. Quan Drake, defensive line. Jordan Higgins, quality control. Brett Maxey, defensive backs. Eric Price, offensive coordinator and quarterbacks. Zach Shaggy, I believe that says, assistant secondary. Chris Wilson, defensive coordinator and linebackers. Then we down here to the Memphis Showboats, who was just recently on the Bottom Line show. And he was just talking about a lot of different things. So if you guys want to go back and see that episode, make sure you go and check out the Bottom Line show from this past week. Coach John DeFilippo, head coach of the Memphis Showboats, was just on there. Daddy Ed and Easy E did an interview with him. So make sure you guys go and check that out. Dennis Polian is the general manager. Kirk Dahl is the special teams and running backs coach. Carnell Lake is the defensive coordinator, defensive backs. Doug Martin, offensive coordinator, wide receivers. Paul Pasqualani is the linebackers coach. Stephen Thompson, assistant linebackers. Jim Turner, run game coordinator, offensive line. And TJ Vernieri is the tight ends coach. For the Michigan Panthers, Mike Nolan is, I believe, the new head coach, if I'm not mistaken, for the Michigan Panthers. Steve Kazar is the general manager. Colin Bauer, defensive coordinator and defensive line coach. Marcel Bellafueli is the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Jaron Fairman is the special teams and wide receivers. Tim Holt, offensive line. Brock Marion, defensive backs. Jordan Pavlison, running backs coach. Christian Runza, the linebackers coach, and Gary Watkins is the tight end coach. And then to end it out with the last two teams, San Antonio Brahmas, you got Wade Phillips, of course, the new head coach. Mark Lillibridge is the general manager. Chris Achuff, is the defensive line coach. Derek Berry is the linebackers coach. Andre Gerard is the offensive line coach. Peyton Pardee is the wide receivers and special teams coach. Will Reed, defensive coordinator. AJ Smith, offensive coordinator. Marvin Williams, running backs coach. Then for the Battle Hawks, you have, of course, returning as the head coach, Anthony Beck. Dave Bowler is the general manager. Donnie Abram is the defensive coordinator. Martin Bayless is the secondary coach. Kyle Casey or excuse me, Caskey is the running backs coach and special teams coach. Chris Claiborne is the linebackers coach. Leroy Glover, former Dallas Cowboy, defensive line coach. Bruce Gradkowski is the offensive coordinator. Gino Gradkowski is the offensive line coach. And Phil Magiogon, I believe is how you say that, is the wide receivers coach. So they're all your coaches for this is basically your 2024 UFL coaching staff, as it says there. So that's definitely a good setup. What's going on, Mike? How are you, brother? Welcome in. Mike says Greg Williams coming back is huge for DC, and that's a low-key sleeper team. I definitely believe that. What's going on, Rick? How you doing today? What is going on? Los Mysterio, welcome in, my brother. I appreciate you guys being here today. How we doing today? Happy Saturday to you all. Who else is excited for college football 25? Yes, I am very, very excited for college football 25. I've been waiting. We've been waiting how many years for a new damn game? It was supposed to come out this year, but of course we're not going to get it until next year. Announced that any player who doesn't opt in will be a generic player and will not be able to be edited, as well as missing out on $600 and a free copy of the game. The ball is in the court of those players. I hope everyone opts in, but it'll be interesting to see who opts out from bad advice. Yes, it definitely will. Definitely will. Yeah, man. I hope you get better, man. I did see the pictures out there, man. Damn dog. See, this don't be messing with nobody's dog. That ain't mine. If it ain't my dog, you got give me 6 feet, 50 feet, 100 feet. Stay your ass over there till I know. You can lick my palm, and I'm still have a palm. So I'm just saying. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Just saying. But yeah, that's your coaching staff for 2024, man. Who is excited for the season, man? Who else is excited for the season, brother? Because I know I am. I know I am, and I'm excited for what is coming this season as well with all of our shows collectively. Like I said, there's a lot going down, and I'm just excited for it. I'm just excited for it, and I don't know about you guys, but to see this, it's just 36 days till kickoff. 36 days till kickoff, and I'm really really stoked. I ain't gonna lie, I'm really stoked. Today's show is not gonna be super super long. I'm not even gonna lie, because it's just me. Damn, it was your dog. 130-pound rot. Sheesh. Sheesh. He bit you. Oh my goodness. It's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Oh wow. But yeah, like I said, man, I'm excited. We got the Arlington Renegades fan show coming out from my brother, mi hermano, Gabe Garcia, OG Double OG. You know what I mean? And I'm excited for it because it's gonna be popping. You know what I mean? You got a diehard Renegades fan, excited for his team coming out with a fan show. And with, like I said, with what else is coming in the future for the Fuel Fan Legion, I guess we're called now. The U Fan Legion or the Fuel Fan Legion, both, I guess we can call it. Definitely big things are coming. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm so excited for it that I want to, like, certain people know what's coming, and then certain people don't. A lot of people don't. But there's a lot there's a lot coming. There's a lot coming. That's all I can say. The future of Fuel is huge, but the future of the Gridiron as well is bright, and I want to make this announcement. I wish Gabe was here. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till Gabe is here, and we can talk about it and announce it together. So that'll probably be next week on next week's show. But we just passed 50 episodes last week, man. We had our 50th episode last week, and it was a good show last week. Definitely enjoyed it. Had a great time with you guys, man. And you guys had some good insight last week, so I was super excited. Yeah, Los Mysterio says I'm crazy excited for the start of the league. Or not too crazy about our QB room, but hopefully I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going down in Houston, man. I don't know what y'all gonna do in the H, but the quarterback lineup for all teams this season is interesting. Like I said, AJ McCarron coming back is huge for St. Louis. Jordan Chamu coming back for DC is huge. And of course, Luis Perez officially coming back for the Renegades is huge. You know what I mean? But y'all gonna need some help down there. Y'all gonna need some help down there. I do have faith in your coach. You know, I can honestly say I have faith in CJ Johnson. I think CJ Johnson can take what you guys have, the roster that you guys have, and make something happen with it. You know what I mean? And with you know with the roster that you have, let's see if your roster is available yet. Not yet. Not yet. Yeah, I ain't got rosters. The rosters aren't available yet for us to view. At least not on the website. So we'll have to go ahead and find a way to pull up the roster. But yeah, like I said, I do have faith in CJ Johnson to do well this season for the Roughnecks slash gamblers slash whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what to call you guys this season. The Roughnecks with the gamblers roster. I don't know. But and no, in all seriousness, I think he has a solid squad down there. But I just think that other teams are stacked, and there's like Memphis is stacked, St. Louis is stacked, DC's low key stacked. You know, Birmingham, of course, is stacked. Michigan sneakingly is kind of stacked too. So Rick say I'll be at all 10 games for us and going to the season opener between the Stallions and the Reno games. Okay, word up. We get to see the Rig Rocker at all the home games in Houston and Ray Stadium this season. That's gonna be lit. That's my boy right there. Big Rig. Can't wait to see you on TV, bro. That's gonna be lit. It definitely is. You like my cup? Don't worry, it's tea. I know I'm in Vegas. Don't worry, it's tea. I promise. It's sweet tea. I promise. It really is. I'm not getting drunk early in the morning. It's too much. It's only like going on 10:30 here. So yeah. But yeah, man, I'm excited for training camp starting. Uh, hey, Stereo said we are the Houston Roughnecks. Period. Okay, H-Town in the building. Okay. My bad. Tea with what else? Ice cubes. Okay, regular ice cubes. Just regular ice cubes. I promise. I promise. It's not nothing extra. You know what I mean? There's no liquor. None of that. I can scouts on. Scouts on. I promise. No, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for liking the show today. Make sure you share it to wherever you want to share it to. We're only live on Facebook today, but we will be live back on YouTube soon. Don't worry. We'll be on both platforms again, as well as another platform here soon. And we will be moving the show to the Gridiron's uh, YouTube channel and Facebook channel. So make sure you guys are following the Gridiron Podcast Facebook channel and you are subscribed to the Gridiron Podcast YouTube channel because the show will be getting moved over there soon. So make sure you're ready for that. Real talk. And some new shows will be coming soon about all sports, so y'all get ready. It's gonna be I got a new show coming out about all sports. You know what I mean? Called the Jersey the King Show. We're gonna be talking about all sports, literally all sports. So that's gonna be coming soon. There's a lot of big things coming, man. There's a lot of big things coming. So you guys get ready. Make sure you go and check out the latest episode of Gridiron Nation podcast that was just recently put out by Gabriel Garcia, OGWG, this past Tuesday. Make sure you guys, yes, I'm sticking to my story, Rick. I promise you I am. It's just tea. See? Sweet tea. Sweet tea. I promise. Just sweet tea. It's just the cup says drunk one, and then the other cup says drunk two. Now, make sure you guys go and check out the latest episode of Gridiron Nation podcast. You should have seen it, share it on my page, share it on, of course, posted and share it on Gabe's page, and you can go and view it or listen to it on Spotify and any other audio podcast platforms. So make sure you go and check it out for sure. He talked about some very, very interesting things in the football world. So make sure you go and check out this latest episode. And hopefully Gabe will be back next week and we can make some big announcements and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, get ready for it, man. Get ready. But in other news in the UFL, I don't know if you guys seen The Rock out there promoting at NASCAR. That's kind of like a big deal now. I'm not even gonna lie, because hitting that NASCAR audience, that's getting those fans who, may occasionally watch the NFL. Now they're gonna watch spring football and during NASCAR season. It's gonna be huge. You know what I mean? Mysterio says, I know what you mean though. DC, St. Louis, Birmingham seem to be contenders for the championship, and the Roughnecks are defensively, but it seems that we're settling for above average for our leader on the offensive side of the ball. Again, hopefully I'm wrong. Yeah, I now if I'm not mistaken, don't the Roughnecks have Cole McDonald? Don't you guys have Cole McDonald as a quarterback in your room? If I'm not mistaken, you guys have Cole McDonald. And with Cole McDonald's versatility, and he has a decent arm as well. Cole McDonald's on the Roughnecks. Okay, what's your quarterback room? Put me up on game because I don't remember, guys. I'm sorry. So many transactions have happened, and yeah, who's the Roughnecks quarterback room, or who's in the Roughnecks quarterback room? Let's. Cole was released. Okay, so who's in the Roughnecks quarterback room? Reed Sinnett. Oh my god. Yeah, they definitely are. I'm loving that. They're doing a lot more promotion for the UFL, and that's definitely a huge thing. Reed Sinnett and who else? Because I know y'all got is Brand. Where did Brandon Silvers go? Is Brandon Silver still there, or is he with is he with Memphis? I think. Wait, I don't remember. I don't remember where Brandon Silvers went to, but Reed Sinnett ain't gonna get it done for y'all. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Reed Sinnett is definitely. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Silvers is the backup in St. Louis. That's right. That's right. Oh, that's ew, jeez. I mean, playing back up to AJ ain't bad, man. Playing back up to AJ is not bad. You know, you get to learn some shit. So, but who else is in the quarterback room for Houston? Who else is in your quarterback room? Let me know because that's going to be interesting to see if you guys really have an opportunity for a push at the UFL championship or even the conference championship. Like honestly, that's gonna be interesting to see like who's gonna be in y'all room. Y'all have what? Who are these guys? That's y'all quarterback room. Jared Warrentano and Nolan Henderson and Reed Sinnett. Bro, let me tell you something. If if you mm, if y'all can't, bruh, if y'all can't get a better QB other than one of those three, because I'm not even familiar with these two guys, Nolan Henderson and Jared Guarantano. I'm not even familiar with those two. I'm not even going to lie to you. So they're going to have to show me something. But Reed Sinnett, we know he bumming it. We know he's bumming it. Sorry to say it that way, but we know he's not good. And these two, I'm not too familiar with. So I can't really say they aren't good or they are. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to jump the gun on those two. But as far as I know about Reed Sinnett, yeah, bumming it. And I'm not going to sugarcoat that. To me, he's a bum. He's not a good quarterback. And that's not going to be good for you guys at all, especially if he's your starter. Yeah, that's not going to be good on the offensive side of the ball. Y'all are going to be relying on Mark Thompson a lot, and that may work. You know what I mean? To where you barely have to throw the ball, but there's a good you're going to be in throwing situations a lot. You can't put everything on Mark. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see what Houston does on the offensive side. Now, defensive wise, you guys are pretty stacked over there. You know what I mean? You got a damn good defense over there, but offensive wise, you don't have like Los Mysterio was saying, you don't have a leader on the offensive side of the ball. As far as the quarterback goes, you don't have a leader, and I think that's going to be hindering to you guys. Honestly, I think that is. I think Quentin Dormady and being in San Antonio is going to play a big impact as well coach is going to rely on the running game. Yeah, you're going to have to rely on that running game because not having a quarterback is huge. Nolan Ryan, or I said Nolan Ryan, Nolan Henderson and Jared Warrentano and Reed Sinnett, that ain't going to cut it. That's definitely not going to cut it. You can throw that one away already. Throw those plays out of the playbook right now. Them no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That's like having Paxton Lynch. I'm just saying, it's definitely not worth it. You know what I mean? It's definitely not worth it at all. What's going on, Brett? Welcome in, brother. How you doing today? Yeah, it's definitely not worth it. Houston needs some quarterbacks. If you guys think of you're going to be able to compete with just Mark Thompson's running game and a defense, not going to happen. Not even going. You're not even going to see the playoffs. And I hate to say it that way because I rock with Houston. You know what I mean? I rock with Houston. I rock with all the teams because I want to see spring football survive and I want to see spring football succeed. But when the franchise was able to be saved as far as the brand, the name, I wanted to see positive things happen for the team in general, as far as the roster and things like that. When they decided that they were going to keep the USFL roster from the Gamblers and not mix in, both rosters somehow, some way. Yeah, some players would have got cut, but hey, it is what it is. You can get picked back up in the draft. You know what I mean? But I think with them not doing that and leaving that Houston Gamblers roster, and then you guys not going and getting quarterbacks, I think that's going to be detrimental to your success because not having a decent quarterback that can at least get you over the hill in a game, I should say. You know what I mean? A guy who can make plays. Yeah, y'all need. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess Kyle Sloter wouldn't be bad. Ryan, I would go for Ryan Willis over Kyle Sloter. You know what I mean? But hell, why give up Kenzie Bahar? You know what I mean? For Reed Sinnett, you gave up Kenji Bahar for Reed Sinnett. Really? Are you crazy? Are they nuts? That was a dumb move, and you gotta agree. You know what I mean? You gotta agree. Um, giving up a quarterback like Kenji Bahar, who proved last season that he's mobile, he can throw the ball, he has accuracy. He needs a little work, but he has accuracy. You know what I mean? He has mobility. He has a lot to offer at the quarterback position. You know what I mean? And y'all need Cole McDonald on your roster. Why would you give him up? Why would you release him? That's stupid. That's stupid. You released Kenji Bahar and Cole McDonald, two mobile quarterbacks with decent arms, for Reed Sinnett, Nolan Henderson, and Jared Warrentano. Whatever. You know his name. But with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of work, see, and that's another thing that I I despise from these players. When you know you need work, especially at the quarterback position, when you know you need work on your arm, on your throwing game, and you know there's a camp out there like, what's going on, Dre? Welcome in, brother. How you feeling today? I appreciate you stopping in, jumping onto the show, man. Welcome to the Gridiron Podcast Show. I am one of the co-hosts, Jersey the King. My co-host, Double G, Gabe Garcia, couldn't be here today. Had a family emergency, but welcome, man. Appreciate you being here, and let's get back into it. But yeah, I think that I mean, I do agree. I didn't have a choice that time, but I'm just saying Cole McDonald isn't a bad quarterback. You know what I mean? He's not that trash. Yeah, Cole would have been a lot better if he had seen more time last year. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. They wouldn't giving him a chance, Mysterio. They wasn't giving him a chance to really throw the ball downfield. They were having him come in for quarterback runs and option type runs and things like that. They wasn't giving him a chance to really step back in the pocket and throw the ball. No, that was a brutal game. I'm not even gonna lie. That was a brutal game for you guys. But I'm just saying, Cole is better than Reed Senate. They needed to send these kids. They need to send these dudes to Archie Manning's quarterback camp. I'm telling you, the boys be coming back throwing like NFL rookies. No, but honestly, no, but honestly though, honestly, Cole would be a better fit. Ryan Willis would be a better fit. You know what I mean? Kenji, they dumb as hell for releasing Kenji. Houston is stupid for releasing Kenji. I'm sorry, CJ Johnson, but that was a dumb move. You know what I mean? That was a dumb move. Rick said they used him for running Silvers through behind receivers a lot. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If they would have gave Cole McDonald more chances to really drop back in the pocket, get comfortable being in the pocket, throwing the ball downfield, scrambling, and instead of always looking to run first when you scramble, you know what I mean? You go to see if that pass is still downfield. If not, then you take off. But they wasn't giving him a chance at all. And I would have kept Kenji Bahar as well. Kenji Bahar shows that he has the arm, showed that he has some accuracy. He showed that he has mobility, and he could be a dual threat quarterback. You know what I mean? And if you give him the right receivers and a good tight end, he could be a good starting quarterback for this Houston team. But releasing him wasn't a good idea. I don't think that was a good move for Houston. And I think giving up Silvers was good for them because, like Rick said here, Silvers couldn't hit receivers in stride. They always had to slow down. Yeah, and that's what stopped the offense from, consistently having sustainable drives. You know what I mean? But like I said, I think that if Cole McDonald would have got more time, he would have had a better chance. You know what I mean? But Silvers being under AJ McCarron is going to be good for Silvers. He's going to be able to learn a lot. He's going to get to work on his accuracy, his timing, things like that. And I think that'll give him, a better future in the league for himself. You know what I mean? I think he needs that. He needs to sit up under somebody like AJ who has NFL experience and spring football success as well. So I think it's going to be huge. I just think that, like I said, I think it's stupid that Houston gave up, Kenji Bahar as well as Cole McDonald because you could have used them both. With both of them being dual threat quarterbacks, you could have used them both. You know what I mean? You got a room now with Jarrett, Guarantano, Nolan Henderson, and Reed Sinnett. Terrible. Los says, I really like our head coach and GM, but they're being real stubborn about the QB situation. They are, and it makes no sense. What's going on, Miss B? How are you today? Welcome in, Miss B. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. Thank you. Gabe is not here this week. He had a family emergency last night, so he was unable to make it to the show this morning. So make sure to keep him and his family in your prayers, please. I do ask. But yeah, y'all GM and head coaches being very, very stubborn, man. And they're being very, very stubborn about it. And it says it almost looks like we're playing for a sub 500 record again. And I really think so. That's the thing. I really, really think so. Because if you're not willing to keep a quarterback that can actually win games for you, and you're going to rely on somebody like Reed Sinnett and two no-namers, you're not playing to win. You know what I mean? You're not drafting to win. You're not putting together a team to win. You know what I mean? St. Louis got a team. DC got a team. Birmingham got a team. Memphis has a team. Hell, San Antonio has a team. Arlington has a team. Like Michigan has a team, or at least a more decent team. I think it's sad to say this early, but I think with the quarterback situation that's going on down in Houston, I think Houston is going to be one of those teams that's in the bottom tier this season. Sad to say it, but unfortunately, I think with depending on depending on how the quarterback situation plays out in Houston, because I really don't think Reed Senate can get it done for you guys. I'm gonna be 100 with you. I don't think Reed Senate can get it done for you guys. I think he's actually gonna be like a Paxton Lynch for the Guardians. Real talk. Um, I think that I do agree that the Roughnecks team did go to San Antonio, so I do kind of feel for you guys. But Rick says my thought is maybe they see something in one of these guys that will fit into their scheme. We don't know what they have on their playbook until we see it. Can't judge until we see it. You're right. We can't. But knowing what we've seen from Reed Senate, do you guys really honestly think, as Houston fans, not being biased though, as football fans and as Houston fans, do you really think Reed Senate could get you guys to the playoffs? Are you guys familiar with Jarrett Nolan enough to be able to say, I could put my trust in one of those two guys over Reed Senate to get us to the playoffs? Get us over 500 to where we're making a playoff push. Do you guys believe in that? Do you guys believe in Reed Senate from what we've seen in the past from his play? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You believe in the coach enough to say yes. Okay, but do you believe in the quarterbacks? That's a big difference because the coach could have this perfect game plan, but the quarterback still got to go out there and execute it. He got to be that leader, that general on the field to go out there and execute it. You know what I mean? And if he doesn't go out there and do that, then you're making your coach look weak. You're making your coach look like he don't know what he's doing. So Mysterio, I feel that answer. I definitely want to, but I don't know. See, that's like my answer to the Dallas Cowboys quarterback situation with Dak Prescott. I want to believe in Dak, but it's like sometimes I can't. But that's the thing. Do you have a quarterback that you can believe in and be like, okay, yeah, I trust this quarterback enough to say, yeah, we're gonna make it. You know what I mean? We can make a playoff push at least. And if his quarterback play gets better throughout the season and he meshes really well with his offensive weapons, then okay, maybe we have a shot for the championship, conference championship, league championship. You know what I mean? Um, Rick says, yes, I do. Maybe Reed just wasn't a good fit with San Antonio last year. And that's possible. John, my guy, what's going on, brother? What's going on? Roster wise, the only one with roster turnover questions are the Brahmas. True. But Reed Sinnott starting for the Houston Roughnecks, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't believe in Reed. These defenses will eventually stack the line and force our quarterback to throw the ball. And that's where I see a potential problem for us. Yeah, because I don't think Reed can be a mobile quarterback in the pocket well enough to be a game changer for you guys, or even a game manager to where he's not turning the ball over. He's not making costly decisions. You know what I mean? And that's my biggest concern. You know what I'm saying? That's my biggest concern. Like, also, there was a post that was out that I shared, as well as a few others have shared, and they put out the rankings of the quarterbacks, and I believe the running backs. And Case Cookis was number one on that list at quarterbacks. And I'm like, Case Cookis over AJ McCarron, Case Cookis over Jordan Ta'amu, Case Cookis. What? We're not believing in Case Cookis that much. We may believe in what he has there in Memphis, but we're not believing in Case Cookis that much. To put him over AJ, to put him over the reigning MVP, to put him over Luis Perez. What? The reigning XFL championship game MVP? What? You're going to put him over Jamar Smith? I don't know about all that. I'm just saying. Case Cookis, though? No. But Rick says, my faith isn't in any of our quarterbacks until they show me different. I've seen QB at every level that was a bust until they got on a team they messed with. I dig it. John says, who was the Roughnecks running backs? Bro, they got Mark Thompson. They could do with that. They can do what the defenders did and rely on the run game, steal the quarterback gets comfy to throw. Yeah, but your quarterback got to be able to throw the ball. You know what I mean? And what if they're playing a defense that's really good at stopping the run, regardless of who that running back is? Whoa. Do you guys hear that? That was crazy. Yeah, but Mark Thompson is the starting running back for the Roughnecks. Remember, that's the Gamblers roster. So, I mean, relying on Mark Thompson to carry the load and occasionally have one of those quarterbacks throw the ball, that's not going to get you past the hump. That ain't going to get you to them games where you're playing teams who can stop that run, and then you have to rely on that quarterback. All I can say is time will tell. Until then, I say playoffs. Okay. The idea is to force 8 in the box to open play action. Yeah, but you can force 8 in the box, and then once you force that 8 in the box, like I said, if you force that 8 in the box and that run game is getting stopped, hold on, guys. This just sounds crazy as hell. Now, if you force that 8 in the box, right, but that run game is getting shut down, what's next? You think that's really going to open up play action? You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Sorry about the audio, guys. I don't know what's going on. Mysterio says, I am a super fan, but that doesn't make me a myopic fan. I see our shortcomings. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging that. And I agree. You know what I mean? I definitely agree. I just feel that it's going to be a little harder for be a little harder for you guys to depend on the run game and expect the run game to always open up, you know, offensive chances in the throwing in the passing game. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness. So I don't know, man. John says yes, it will limit double coverage and more one on ones. You can't run zone with 8 in the box. You're right. You're right. You can't. I'm suffering from QB envy. Mysterio run game every game and have or just the running backs in general. You can't just rely on the running backs in general to carry the whole entire offense every game and depend on that defense to, you know what I mean, be stellar every game against good offenses on the opposing end or good defenses on the opposing end. You know what I mean? Or the opposing side. So you have to look at it from both views. If Houston's going up against a team like Memphis, team like St. Louis, you know what I mean? And their defense is very, very well tuned and they can stop the run game. They're going to force them to throw the ball, especially if they get down. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see. Rick says he's calling it right now. Houston Roughnecks will be in the playoffs. So we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, we just got to see how that quarterback room looks and if Reed Sennett's that guy or not. Or is it going to be Jarrett Guarantano or Nolan Henderson? Who's going to be that guy in Houston to lead you to the playoffs if you feel strongly about the Roughnecks making it to the playoffs this season? So we'll see. We'll definitely see. You know what I mean? It's going to be interesting for sure. This season's going to be exciting. Like I said, there is 36 days left until kickoff, y'all. 36 days left until kickoff. I'm excited as hell for this because, man, when you look at how long football's been gone, it's been like 2 weeks, man. I don't feel right without football on. I don't. I watched All-Star Weekend for basketball. It was horrible. 3-point contest was cool. But everything else, Celebrity All-Star Game was cool. That was fun to watch. It was actually interesting. But that's it. That's it. It's different without football, man. It's definitely different without football. I can honestly say that. John says, watch Memphis in the USFL division. It will be interesting for Birmingham, too, with the quarterback change. It definitely will, but you got to remember, Birmingham won back-to-back championships with 2 different quarterbacks, Jamar Smith, Alex Magoo. One of those quarterbacks is returning, and they were only out due to injury last season. So we'll have to see how that quarterback change in Birmingham changes the team or if it makes them just as good as they were. But I'm not sleeping on Memphis. I think Memphis is a team that's being slept on in the USFL conference, honestly. I really believe that Memphis is a team that's being slept on because they've made some really, really good moves so far in the offseason. Bold prediction, the UFL's TV viewership numbers are going to be over 1 million a game. That's a bold prediction. But honestly, Mysterio with the NFL helping promote, especially on Fox, I think they dropped the ball by not paying for a promotional spot on or for the Super Bowl. And me and Gabe talked about this last week.
I think they dropped the ball and missed out on a huge opportunity. You know what I mean? You could have spent what 10 million and got a spot for you know a 30-minute or 30-second spot and a 15-second spot and had two different commercials. Two different promotional commercials for the UFL launching and one being a 30-second hype video including all 8 teams. And then another being a new little promotional video just about the league launching. You know what I mean? So I think they dropped the ball on that, but I think the viewership's going to be pretty good. We'll have to see if it's the millions, but it's going to be interesting. What's going on, Big Daddy Ed? Welcome in. What's great right now is everyone is tied. Who's going to get it? Stay tuned, Big Rig. It probably won't go the way we all think, and I think you're right, Daddy Ed. I think you're right. I think it's going to be shockingly interesting. In my opinion, it's going to be shockingly interesting. Mike Tackett says a lot of talk about expansion is the next move for the UFL. Free agency. At some point, we have to start giving players the option for competitive balance. You're absolutely right. You really are absolutely right about that, Mike. Um, and I think that the expansion talk, I think it's a little premature, kind of, but I'm not mad at them because there's teams that they can bring back with no problem. You know what I mean? At least one team in each league. You know what I mean? They could bring a XFL team back, and they could bring a USFL team back, and just have that. I think it would be smart to move Pittsburgh Maulers to Canton and call them a different name or rebrand them, however, but call them the Canton, whatever the name will be, Canton Maulers or whatever the case. But I think that would be smart and utilize that Canton field. Bring back the XFL team like Seattle or Vegas or Orlando. You know what I mean? So hell, even bring you could even bring back a damn New York team. I don't know. I'm just saying that there's a lot they could do expansion wise, so it'll be interesting to see. We had that last season, more games on major networks um and with on major networks with maintain or expand viewership. Yeah, it will. You're right about that. John also says, "Hey, every team is in their market, and, and no fucking hubs. That in itself is a win." And you're right, it definitely is. A Train, my brother, how you doing? Sup, sir? If you need a co-host to join, you can call me. I know I definitely can. Matter of fact, give me 1 second. You gotta text me your email again. A Train. No, I definitely bring you on. No problem. But yeah, I honestly think that it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna come down to the play on the field. Period. The coaching and the play on the field. You know what I mean? Hopefully Greg Williams. Uh, yeah, come on, A Train. Come on. Just text me your email again, and I'll send you an invite to join the show with me. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to really come down, of course, to the play on the field and the coaching and how the schemes work and how the players execute these schemes. You know what I mean? If this season is a success and it's financially feasible, I could see them bringing back 4 teams. I could see the same thing, but at least 2 at the minimum. Um, Los at best, they will do 2 teams at a time. Possible. It depends on the success. It really depends on the success, and if they keep taking advantage of the NFL promoting them, if they start utilizing other networks like CBS, TNT. Just put some promotion out there. You know what I mean? Just pay for promotion. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Just pay for promotion on NBC. Just pay for promotion on CBS. Just pay for promotion on TNT. Just pay for promotion on USA. You know what I mean? Especially all these teams or all these TV networks that have sports on it. You know what I mean? So pay for promotion for TBS. Just a promotional spot. So people see the UFL. You know what I mean? That's all they care about is just seeing the UFL. That's all that should matter because the more eyes that see the UFL, the more people will finally start taking an interest into it. Lowe said that the UFL should average 1 million viewers per game. They should this season. There you go. There you go. The UFL won't beat the NBA playoffs. It could beat baseball and hockey, maybe even MLS. Yeah, it just depends on the eyes, and it depends on how much promotion they're willing to pay for. Like Coach CJ said last week, this team has not had the opportunity to play in front of home fans yet, and they're excited about that. Yeah, because y'all got the damn Gamblers roster, and they ain't been able to play in Houston ever. So well, back in the '80s they did, but I'm just saying since the previous 2 seasons. So I don't I don't know, man. It's gonna be an interesting thing to see down there in Houston. Don't sleep on Arlington. I'm telling you that right now. Uh, Bob Stoops and Luis Perez having a whole season together and not 3, 4, 5 games together is going to be a big difference maker. I'm telling you. I'm telling you now. It's going to make a huge difference this season and this time around for them to try and go back to back when it comes to the XFL conference. So I'm telling y'all now, sleeper teams, Memphis, Arlington. We know St. Louis is gonna be good. We know Birmingham's gonna be good. It'll be surprising if either one of those two teams aren't good. We know DC is gonna be good. It'll be surprising if they're not. You know what I mean? Um, San Antonio, they weren't bad last year. They just couldn't stay healthy enough to be a top tier team last year. You know what I mean? So there's definitely going to be some good football in the UFL this season. And like I said, I think with the quarterback situation in Houston may be the only downfall for you guys, and that may be the only way you guys be not over 500 or a sub 500 team. Honestly, John says Arlington had a top-notch defense. Perez for the whole season makes them dangerous. Exactly. That's why I say don't sleep on Arlington. Everybody's like, "Oh, Arlington ain't gonna be as good as they were last season, just because they won the championship and this, that, and third." But I keep saying it. Luis and Bob Stoops together for a whole season is gonna be way different than them being together for less than half of the season. So that's something to pay attention to in all actuality. That's something to really pay attention to. Los says the football is going to be really good this year, bro. Yes, it is. I really think that the the actual play we get on the field is going to be totally stellar. That's just a funny word to use for me. I think it's gonna be really, really good. I think we're gonna see something that we didn't see in both the XFL or the UFL last season, and that's even more better play than what we got from each league separately. Because don't get me wrong, I think that there was good play in each league separately. I think the XFL had really good play, and it was a little bit more exciting. Don't get me wrong, and I think the UFL had some really good play as well. I can honestly say that I think the play on the field was a little more professional wise. I don't know. I don't even know if I can really say that. I just feel like the UFL, the USFL, excuse me. They didn't give me that full fan experience because the whole fan issue or whatever. But I think when it came to the caliber of play on the field, the USFL had a little bit better, just by like half an inch type of deal. They had the defenders scare in week 9, and everyone saw the championship with them in our division. Arguably, those games have the bigger circle than St. Louis. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. Arlington versus DC rematch from last season. You know what I mean? Um, that's going to be huge. And I think that anybody playing St. Louis though, honestly, anybody playing St. Louis though, will be going up against a powerhouse team. So it's not going to be so much about, you know, the rematch factor. It's going to be more about, for St. Louis, it's going to be more about, we have something to prove. You understand what I mean? We shorted ourselves last season by not getting those wins when we needed to. You know what I mean? That's what it's going to come down to for St. Louis, honestly. 210 Brahmasita, welcome in. Hi, how are you today? Welcome in. Hope your day is going well. Happy Saturday to you. Welcome into the Gridiron Podcast. Yes, yes, yes. But yeah, I think the St. Louis is playing for revenge in the XFL conference. Let's just put it that way. St. Louis is playing for revenge in the XFL conference. So it don't matter what team it is that they're playing for revenge in the XFL conference. So St. Louis against DC, that's circled on St. Louis's calendar. St. Louis against Arlington, that's circled. Why? Because Arlington is the defending champions. You know what I mean? I actually think that this year's football product will be so good that the UFL will find some really good partners and sponsors for the league. I do too. I do too. I really do. John says, agree here, Los, especially with only one spring league in town. Exactly. I think this was a smart business move for the leagues itself. And the reason why I say that is because now there's no competition. You know what I mean? And now sponsors don't have to worry about competition between the two. And I really feel that that was a major hit that each league took last season. You know what I mean? Especially with both leagues being out last season and being active last season. But when it comes to them merging together now these sponsors don't have to choose between which league they want to sponsor. Now there's one spring league. You know what I mean? Like you were saying, and Los, like you were saying, there's one spring league now. There's no competition between the two. So that gives the UFL more opportunity to get more sponsors that gives the UFL more opportunity to have more success in the future now because they could take advantage of promoting one league. They could take advantage of getting sponsors for one league. They could take advantage of making sure that the product on the field is really good quality for just one league and not two separate leagues competing with each other. So this was a good business move for both the XFL and the USFL to be able to have their leagues survive in some way, shape, or form. And merging was just the smartest thing to do. Now it just comes down to how are we going to go about the future? Yeah, even the NFL, we're working with both teams. John says that's going to be a wild card. If they invest more now, there's only one league. Exactly, exactly. And that's going to be huge because, as you've seen on Fox, well, of course, with Fox being part owner of the UFL, as you've seen, Fox was promoting the hell out of the UFL when the playoffs were around. You know what I mean? They were really promoting, like talking about the UFL, having Danny and The Rock come on national television and announce the merge of the UFL or the merge of the XFL and the USFL to become the UFL. Announce the launch of the UFL. They went on College Game Day and announced the UFL. They went on NASCAR recently and announced the UFL. They've been all over the place announcing the UFL and all throughout the playoffs. Getting that promotion from the NFL was huge. It was huge. And now you put yourself in a position to succeed, get new eyes. Like John says here, the promotion was refreshing, and it was because now those eyes that weren't really paying attention to the XFL and the USFL like that, now that they have a solid one league, you put yourself in a position to succeed, to constantly have success now. The only way you don't have success as a league is within yourselves, period. Let's go ahead and bring in a special guest for today out of nowhere, but this is how we get it out. My boy, you guys all know him as the A Train, Mr. Arlington Lane.
Good after, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Thanks, man. Thanks
Yes,
for
sir.
having me on.
I appreciate you being here, man.
Yeah.
You know, Gabe had a family emergency that he had to go and take care of, so he's not even able to be on. He's not even home, so just keep him in your
Understood.
prayers, guys. Make sure you guys definitely pray for him and his family, and hope that everything works out. Um, but yeah, what are your thoughts on what we were just speaking of? You know, the promotion, getting the promotion from the NFL, and how moving forward, what that would do for the UFL as a whole.
Excuse me. I think at this point right now, man, the UFL needs as much promotion as they can get, to make this thing work. Like you're the only spring football league in town now. All right. So that means you
Mhm.
should be able to do everything that you need to do to make this thing work. Like um there should not be a problem getting a million viewers to watch per game.
Right.
Like you should not average on each weekend. You should average at least a million viewers per game.
Yep.
Like you got 4 games, 4 million viewers. Average out to be a million. That should not be a problem. Like I'm seeing the ones on Fox. I'm seeing the ones on ESPN. So they are putting them out there. Now it's
Yeah.
time for the local markets that are involved in the UFL to promote. It's all about the local communities now. This is now,
Yeah.
I get it, the training camp has started. Now you got to make sure that all 8 cities, because you got 8 venues to work from.
Hmm. What's going on,
And because
Denzel?
you and because you got 8 venues to work from, Now you get an opportunity to see if you can start filling those stadiums. I know that this go around, this is going to be more into warmer weather, climates and stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe if in the future seasons, if there are future seasons, that they push it back a little bit, not too
yeah,
much. You can start it at the beginning of March, not the end of March. Because you have to take weather into
yeah,
consideration for these 8 cities, right? You want to say you want to be a viable spring league, you got to make sure that you have the right climates, the right venues, um, and making sure that everything is on one accord, man. Hey, that's all I can say to that, man. Hey, hello to everyone that's tuning in. I see comments in the chat.
yeah. But I totally agree. Taking the weather in consideration is going to be huge moving forward next season. Because I really feel that this first season will be successful. With what they're doing promotional wise, I think more eyes that are just more that mainly are focused on the NFL when it comes to football in college will start to shift and start to pay attention to the UFL with what this promotion is being used for, in
Right.
my opinion, is to draw those type of eyes because you got the diehard spring football lovers, you know what I mean, like us, like everyone who's watching, you know what I mean. You have us who are going to tune in. We're going to make sure that we give you views or be in attendance at these games. I think now the drive is to get these fans who love the game of football but don't really show that love to spring football because it's not the NFL. And I think working with a little bit of with the NFL on this promotion is going to do well. Now, earlier, I believe it was Los or John brought up the mentioning of expansion depending on the success.
Hmm.
Now, do you think 2 or 4 teams would be something that they would look at?
Two.
And okay, so you agree with me. I think 2 would be smart, 1 for each conference. You know what I mean?
Right.
Utilize that
And
Canton field, and then you could bring back any of the XFL teams that have a field, you know what I mean, to play on.
now here's the crazy question. I'm going to play on the side of the expansion stuff. Does the XFL or the UFL in this case, do they own the old 2001 teams? Meaning like the Chicago Enforcers and New York, New Jersey Hitmen. Of course, you got
Mhm.
the Guardians and that type of stuff. If they do that, because you have to understand, they're really trying to cut on expenses. They're trying to really, you know, cut a lot of expenses so they don't have. I'm not saying that the West Coast is not in play right now. I'm just saying right now they're looking at making sure how they're going to keep the expenses low, right? And
Yeah,
so the West Coast could be in the plans down the line, but I'm saying if they do expand, you kind of have to stay within that centralized and eastern part of the country, just because you want to see how many more markets that um, can participate. You
right.
still have you got the New Orleans Breakers, who was a great team last year in the USFL that did not make the group, right? You also had I'm trying to think for we had Arlington, DC, San Antonio, St. Louis. We can't use Houston because they're now part of the Roughnecks. Um, it would almost have to be a West Coast team. But
There's your
one
answer.
is not one, so they do own, so they own all of them. So that means if they wanted to put a Chicago team in it, there's a possible. I,
That's
I
what I
mean,
was saying.
I'm not saying that they will, but if they're going to keep it centrally
Utilize
located
those.
and East Coast, then there's nothing wrong with that. Bringing in a
Right.
Philadelphia would be fine. Bringing in a Pittsburgh would be fine. You
But
know,
will it
it,
honestly, will the
if I'm,
Pittsburgh
I'm only
market
going by
really work?
I'm
Because it
only going by
really
what is
hasn't in the last few
decentralized,
seasons. You know,
right? A New Orleans would be
you
fine,
don't have a stadium to play in. You know, you're
right?
playing
Hmm.
Canton. That's why I say utilize that Canton field and take that Pittsburgh USFL franchise and move them to Canton. Even if you rebrand them with a different name, You know what I mean? Utilize one of those XFL teams from 2001. Utilize a old USFL team. You know what I mean? It's just about a name, when a nickname for the team, and a centralized location, like you said, to where they have a home field. So why not take advantage of Canton? You were
Yeah,
utilizing it already for the last 2 seasons. So why not get a new deal and just make it a home field for a new team, whether it be that Pittsburgh team getting rebranded and moved to Canton, or on the XFL side, like we were talking, we have Orlando still who has a field. We have Seattle who has a field. You know what I mean?
right.
We're not 100% sure about Vegas and where they would play, but there's plenty of opportunities. And if we do utilize any of those 2001 teams, whether it just be the name or the area, I should say, or the nickname, I think right now Chicago would be one of the best to
Right. And
utilize.
the only problem with the Chicago is, like, when I say right now, the sports landscape in Chicago is not the best. And I'm talking about all their teams. I'm talking about the
Hmm.
Bulls, the Cubs, the White Sox, the Blackhawks, the
Yeah,
Bears. For that to be that market. That's kind of the problem at this case.
yeah,
That the landscape ain't the best. So that they're looking at. So if Chicago were to the XFL were to go into Chicago, or the UFL would go into Chicago, would they even embrace it? That's the
yeah,
problem that will lie within that. Now, that question that you see right here in front of you, do y'all feel that the former USFL markets will be able to sustain their in-stadium attendance numbers now that they're not giving away so many tickets? It's going to take some time, because this is the first time they're actually utilizing USFL teams and getting them into stadiums. I get it.
yeah.
Ford Field right now is going to be a problem. It's going to be a troubling problem because it's so big, and you'll be lucky if you get to see 12,000 teams. That's not being negative. That's just being transparent of what's going on
Mhm.
right
Exactly.
now. Memphis is going to be, um, Memphis can be, because Memphis has been starving for some football, some professional football there. They've been saying for years that they deserve to have some type of professional football there. You're going to get it now. Granted, the
Now you
problem
see how
for
you can do with it.
right, the problem now is for Memphis, they have a holdup within their stadium because they're renovating it. And so, like, half the stadium is going to be being renovated as this season progresses. So it will take a
Mhm.
hit, and I think that Fox Sports will be able to take that hit as long as they were able to get to a surmountable amount, 15 to 20,000. They'll be good with that. You know what I mean?
Now,
Um,
like Mysterio says here, since Texas has 3 teams, could you have a New York Guardians and a New Jersey Generals both play at a Red Bull Stadium? John says stadium cost,
they do,
and New York has the same issues.
they do. And that's the thing, man. Like,
They do,
yeah,
and
oh,
my whole thing is like how the New York Giants and the New York Jets share a stadium. That's all the way in New Jersey, not even in New York.
because you can't do it.
It
You
it
can't
could
you
be
can't
it can't be done
you can't
for
put a
the U.S.
stadium. You cannot put a stadium in New York. You couldn't put a 70,000 seat stadium in New York. Right now, the best thing that they have for capacity wise for anything over 40,000 would be City Field in New York, or Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, and we know how Yankee Stadium is going to be when it
Yankees and
comes to
right,
trying to, turn their or their baseball field into a football stadium
they
for
ain't doing it.
any time during baseball season. It's not happening.
It's not
And the
happening.
UFL is primely in baseball season, right at the beginning of baseball season, on top of that. So they're
Exactly.
definitely not going to allow any New York team to play in Yankee Stadium. There's no way to make the Barclay Arena an indoor stadium. They're not doing that. They're not
No,
doing that. Buffalo, out of the question. because nobody's going to want to go all the way. They're not going to want to travel all the way up there to go to a UFL spring football game. Trust me. Trust me.
Just read some of the
You know what I
comments and
mean?
stuff. Yeah, um,
I'm
a
just
lot of
saying,
Houston fans, a lot of people chiming in, man. See, here's the thing about Orlando. Orlando's climate is it's very warm no matter what time of the year it is. And we saw last
Mhm.
season, even when granted that the Orlando Guardians, let's say if they were having a winning a season, it was going to be difficult for them to get 30,000 fans inside of Camping World Stadium because it's so warm there. I remember even in being in Houston with the fact of the last couple of games, home games of the year, it was like 80 degrees and stuff. And you're like, that should be fine. It's not. You're sitting there and the sun is beaming on you while you're watching the game.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like the difficult part when you're playing in certain venues. Now, those fans that want to stick it out, cool. That more power to you. But there are going to be people that's going to be like, nah, I'm not down for this unless it's something indoors or it's cooler.
Mhm. Even
So
even
you,
Jacksonville, you would have the same type of issue. You know what I mean? That's why the Jacksonville Bulls haven't been brought back. You know what I mean? In the USFL, because if they would have been able to find a stadium for the Jacksonville Bulls, trust and believe Jacksonville would have been one of those teams.
and the Khan family
Because
not going to put them in inside of that stadium. It's not
exactly.
happening.
So, and then Miami, where they're going to play. You know
They're
what I
not gonna let
mean?
him play him. They're not gonna let him play in pro player, and they for sure not gonna let him play in Marlins Park, the site of the old Orange Bowl. So forget it.
At all. So that's out of the question. And you see the issues that they've already had in Tampa. That's why there's no Tampa team in either the USFL or the XFL. So we see what's going on in Tampa. So
Yeah, that,
for the
that
teams right now, Orlando's the only one that we would be able to have a team in. That's why they were the only Florida team in either spring league for the last 2-3 seasons
right. That was
because
actually in Florida.
that's just what it was. They were the only team or the only city that was willing to allow a spring team to be there with no
Exactly.
issues and made it easy for them to have a field to play at and things like that. Like Jared says, welcome in, Jared. Thank you for being here, brother. Jared says, New York is very expensive to have a team for spring football budget. And it is, even though a lot of the damn teams play in New Jersey and both well, two out of the three professional football teams play in New Jersey. So I'm just saying they don't even use New York, the state. They don't even use the grounds of New York to build these damn stadiums and arenas. And it's ridiculous. It's got to use my state.
the the
It's
Generals would
got to use
probably
New
be the
Jersey.
only the Generals would probably be the only viable choice to put in put a team over there on that upper upper northeast, for New
Mm-hmm.
York. I think it was Carlos that said that the Apollos had over 28,000.
Look at the
Good joke.
haters in
I
here. Don't
told
be
you, hey,
hating on my
listen,
Bombers, man. It's all right. We'll
hey,
be back in the playoff form and World Series winning form again.
we hope not. No, I've become a bit of an Astros fan. You know what I mean? Because well, it was only because of Dusty Baker, but I still would be a fan of theirs. Regardless, you say what you want about the Houston Astros, they knowing how to win right now.
Yeah, they
So
are.
Um, it said the USFL pushed back the schedule because of the holdups in Washington. We can see an earlier schedule next year. The one thing that I learned about DC is that they're never going to play, and I'm talking about the Defenders, they're never going to play a Saturday home game. Ever. Ever.
Especially not during soccer season.
And
Audi
so,
Stadium
yeah.
is not happening.
But you know what? That's actually pretty cool, though, because it still gives the effect, Jersey, that you still have Sunday professional football in DC.
Hmm.
That's the cool thing about it.
And that's
It's
what
like you may not
people
need.
want in DC. That's what they want. They don't really care for Saturday football unless it's a playoff game. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I think having a team like DC who made it to the XFL championship last season, who can sell out a stadium, who has the fan base to sell out a stadium and start a trend like the beer snake. And you know what I mean? Just knowing that DC has the support, like you said, Sunday is football day in DC. And to be able to have a spring football team who's a winning spring football team, why not? You know, they can continue to have Sunday football. Home games on top of that, yeah, they'll love it. They'll love it.
This comment here about the Orlando Apollos had over 28,000. That is true. But also in the same retrospect, that team was doing very well and they were marketed very well.
And even with the schedule, like you said, they played a letter schedule or night games, so it was cooler. Fans were willing to come out there with those later games because now the humidity is not as bad. The heat isn't as bad. You know what I mean? So
And yeah, that's true. Also, Jared said AAF was before COVID times. Correct. The AAF started in that was 2019, and it was kind of funny that whole thing. I could
mhm,
go into a tangent about it, but my thing is that even in 2019, uh, the Orlando Apollos, that marketing team, I can't think of the guy's name to save me. His name was Michael. And when I say Michael was on a tangent to make sure that every game was because he called see that's the thing. Spectrum Stadium where UCF plays, they named it the bounce house. And
okay,
it was a 40,000 seat stadium, but they were able to nab 28,000. They were one of the top attendances alongside San Antonio in the AAF. And so because they were 7-1 before before the season ended. That team was headed towards that championship game. They were going to play Birmingham. So yeah, that would have been something.
yeah,
Listen, the Guardians going Florida was a ploy to. It was not to stick it to New York. This was to get a team live, that can handle could be in Florida. The only way
yeah,
that was going to work was getting the Guardians name and move it to Orlando.
yeah,
So
because they
it
wanted
wasn't
to
to say that
attack
New
that
York.
Florida market.
They were saying right now New York is just not in our for expenses. Let's get a Florida team, where we don't have to pay a lot of taxes. Unfortunately, they don't do what's that
Right,
workman's comp in in Florida. So that was kind of the drawback. But at the same time, you had to have a team in the sunny side of Florida. You know what I mean? So I really thought they were going to go after Spectrum Stadium, but they were looking at go big or go home
right.
or
They
Orlando,
definitely were. They definitely were with
and
Orlando.
they were trying to maximize that as much as possible. And then you sit back and say, well, why they didn't do that in DC? But honestly, who want to really play in FedEx Field? Because they
Mhm.
talk so bad. They talk so bad about it. Fans talk bad about FedEx
And
Field not
and
wanting to be there.
Audi Stadium is way better.
And it's
You
fair,
can
yeah,
tell.
more fairly newer and stuff, and you know,
It just fits the spring football
landscape. Yeah,
landscape exactly. It fits the landscape, and especially for that team and the fan base itself. You know what I mean? You got people who are ready, especially for this season. They're ready to be right back in that end zone with the beer snake. You know what I mean? They're ready to fill that stadium up and try and break record attendance if they can, which is going to be hard because it's going to be a lot of fans standing up then. But you know, you know what I mean. It's just they know what they have in Audi Field. You know what I mean. So it's for them to have to. What if they would have had to play a FedEx? I don't think it would have been a success attendance wise for DC. So I'm happy that DC was able to find a field like Audi Field to be able to play at. And I hope that, I'm gonna keep rooting for my Guardians or for my Vipers, excuse me. I hope you guys go out there, check out the petition I have to, bring back the Vipers franchise, whether it be the Gamblers, and that's what their name gets changed to because it makes more damn sense, or even if
wait,
you don't, if you change their name from Vegas to Sin City Vipers, how, or not Vipers, but Sin City Gamblers, hey, that would be even more appealing because that would really showcase Las Vegas, Sin City.
But let's be
Universe.
honest, man. Let's be honest with that. That name, the Vegas Vipers, was actually a pretty cool name. You know what I
It
mean? I
is. I
understand,
like
and I
it,
think they were going by what what they thought was vipers are in the desert of Nevada, and so they
which
thought
they
that
aren't.
was problem, which I'm finding out that they're not. So, but it
Mm-mm.
was a cool name for it. The only original team that we probably going to have or had in the XFL was the San Antonio Brahmas because San Antonio was not in an iteration of the XFL prior to
Right.
last year. So, of course, the Vipers were in Tampa, uh, and so
Seattle had the Seattle Dragons, and now
mix it.
there's Sea Dragons.
Yeah, and see, even I was very they shouldn't have had to change the Seattle team to the Sea Dragons, but with that being said, they were trying to iterate that this is not Vince's league anymore.
Right.
That was the crazy thing about it. It's like, okay, we done with Vince. We'll keep some names like the Battlehawks. We had to keep because that was um, that was our bread and butter for the league. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
so I'm not saying that any other team didn't matter, but you knew already that St. Louis was going to be a vital part of spring football as a whole.
Hell yeah, because St. Louis needs football, and that's just what it is. You took
I've,
one of
I've
the
I've heard some
best.
conspiracy theories, but I can't discuss them on this show. There's some crazy conspiracy theories about St. Louis and professional football that I just cannot discuss. It's
I think I
wild.
know some of them. Some of them, I think I have a feeling of what you're talking about. But
Wow, dude. We're
yeah,
gonna have to talk
look,
about this after
look,
the
the
show is
Orlando
over.
Rage. I did a video. I have a video series out on my YouTube channel called XFL Now, and I have another video series for the UFL or USFL called the USFL Fresh Start. Now, on my XFL Now video series, one of the first videos I did was a possible expansion for the XFL, and this is when before the merger and everything, a
Mhm.
possible expansion for the XFL and what it could look like to have 16 teams in the XFL if they were to utilize the older 2001 logos and teams.
Mhm.
And the Rage was one of them, of course. And go check, when you guys get a chance, go check it out and tell me what you think of it. Tell me if you think that could have actually worked. Just leave some comments or whatever the case. But I was talking about utilizing the Rage's name and bringing it back to Orlando because that wasn't a bad place.
And right, did they have they were a playoff team if I'm not mistaken back in
Hmm.
'01.
Yep. And the only team that we wouldn't be able to have is the Memphis Maniacs because of the Memphis Showboats, of course.
Right.
And didn't we have a Birmingham team?
The Bolts,
Yeah, the Bolts. Yep,
but they gonna be stuck on the Stallions for a long
of
time.
course.
That's not gonna change.
But you could utilize the Bolts in San Diego.
You could,
Just saying. If we
and
could
they
get a spring football team in San Diego,
and Cal.
utilize the Bolts.
Oh man, and utilize that Snapdragon Stadium.
And
I
just have
think
them be the Bolts.
and that's the thing. I think San Diego would embrace it.
I do too. I do
I
too.
really think they would embrace that team, the
Yep,
Thunderbolts. Yeah,
San Diego Thunderbolts.
and then you're like,
That would
hey,
be
and you got
perfect.
the Bolts for short. You know what I mean? So
Yep. And it would still represent, that same like Chargers feel, from the NFL, San Diego Chargers original team,
and then you can
so
use the old colors from
mhm.
the Chargers because they don't use them anymore. They went back and decided to use a lighter blue, uh,
Yeah,
a
they don't
color.
use they only use the powder blue for when they have throwback games, like when they played with the throwback uniforms. So,
Yeah, when they
I
were in the
really think
AFL.
it's exciting.
So yeah, absolutely, man. Like that would be a hometown team.
Yeah, it definitely would. Guys, let's jump into some fan mail real quick. One of my favorite parts of the show, you guys already know. And let's get it. because this week we got A Train subbing in for Gabe today, so we get a different perspective on these questions. And this week the fan mail is coming from Hit Only. Rig didn't get any questions over to me today, so I didn't have
He might
anything
have
for
one for the
Gabe.
show though. You know.
Right. But Hit asks, as the off season starts, do you think there will be a lot of changes as players being let go or moved around? He's talking about the NFL.
Okay.
Um, Go ahead, Adrian. Let us know your thoughts.
A lot of changes. This will be crazy, man, because quarterbacks have been released, like especially in for Pittsburgh. A lot of rumors that were traveling around was saying that Justin Fields could be a Pittsburgh Steeler, and and there was the thing about him leaving. He's not following the Chicago Bears on Instagram or something like on social media. Like he took him off all of his social media, and he was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know, man. It's right now, it's too early to say. We got
Yeah.
7 months before the season starts. And when free agency comes, that's what's going to be the key thing here. I don't think there,
Okay.
so I'm going to say, I don't think there will be a lot of changes. I heard about Khalil Mack. I heard about Mike Evans, because there are a lot of people in Houston. There are people in Houston right now that believe that Mike Evans could go home back to Houston. You know,
There's also a few people that think that Saquon Barkley, since the New York Giants are allowing Saquon Barkley to test free agency, he may be possibly going to either Houston or Dallas. He's actually verbally stated that he wants to play in Dallas if he is not in New York.
ooh,
But
that's to
it's
stick it to the
looking like
Giants too.
Houston might be the front runner as of right now.
Yeah,
And
because the other
Henry
person,
is heading to
exactly. You
Dallas.
hit it. You hit the
So
nail on the head. Like if Derrick Henry is walking, what would a team like the Houston Texans
look
have
like
getting by the Tennessee Titans for a running back on that
right
squad?
now that would be crazy for King Henry to go to Houston to stick it to Tennessee. Like
And
I'm
like,
going to where the Oilers originated.
wait, like you just sat there and said, Saquon going to Dallas to stick it to the
Mhm.
Giants, man. So that's what I'm sitting there
Exactly.
looking at. I'm like,
That would
so
be
there will
super
be
huge running back
significant
moves.
there'll
Yes.
be significant changes, but I don't think there are going to be a lot of changes.
No, I don't think there's going to be too many NFL changes in the offseason as far as free agency. I think there might be some, like you said, I agree, there might be some significant changes, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of moving around and a lot of shifting around and things like that. So to answer that question, Hit, there's going to be more. We feel between me and Arlington, and I'll even get Gabe's opinion, and we'll bring it up next week. But we feel that there will be more significant moves than tons of moves that get made, honestly, because those two moves that we talked about, Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley at the running back position, would be astronomical to both teams. If Houston were to land either Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley, and Dallas lands Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry, either one of those teams picking up either one of those running backs would be astronomical moves for those offenses moving forward next season.
I'm telling you, Houston fans, Texans fans, you need to really get on board with this squad, man. I'm not
Hmm.
saying it because it's Houston. I'm saying it because Houston's future looks very, very bright. Getting D'Amico Ryans over, having the draft that they did this past season, Nick Casario doing an amazing job. What he was able to do with free agency, being able to get Laramie Tunazil to return, extend him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
That was
then
big.
exactly getting him back in the fold. And like I said, bringing the D'Amico Ryans over, nah, I ain't doing no Boston Hitman. No, thank you.
I,
I
I
wouldn't
just
even do
had to
New
pop that
England.
up. I just wanted to
I
pop
wouldn't even
that
do
up.
the New England. I wouldn't even do the New England Hitman. So no, no, thank
Nope,
you.
I wouldn't
But
either.
as in um having those guys come into play, I think their bright future is ahead, man. Like I'm still ticked off that D'Amico Ryans did not win Coach of the Year.
Me too. I'm okay with Kevin Stefanski winning,
Right.
but
I'm not. I'm
me,
not at
D'Amico
all.
Ryans deserved that award. He took a team that everybody was giving up on, and took a rookie quarterback, a rookie captain on defense,
Who
and
started from
won the
day one.
division. And won the damn division. You you,
That's what
you
I'm saying,
can't
man.
can't overlook that. Don't
And
get
they
me wrong,
did.
Kevin Stefanski won. I think they gave it to Kevin Stefanski because of the amount of quarterbacks he had to go through
And that's
this
crap.
season.
That's
And I
crap.
and I think that's a shit ton of crap.
That's
I've
crap,
been a
man.
front row end zone season ticket holder since day one for my Houston Texans. Okay, H
And the
Town.
Cle Hey, and the Cleveland Browns didn't even win their division.
Nope.
So how
If
you
we
gonna sit
bring
here and tell me he deserved Coach of the Year because of the four quarterback issue that he had, and Joe
right
Flacco pretty much saving your season on offense? He came off the couch, and all of a sudden now,
off his mama's couch, and now you deserve the coach of the year, and he deserves comeback player of the year, which
well,
he did.
you know,
He deserved comeback player of the year because he came in late in the season, still guided them to the playoffs, and then got dismantled by who? Houston. So I'm just saying, you know what
hey,
I
put
mean?
Denzel's
Just
comment up there if you can.
the Coach Ryan one.
Put
Coach,
Denzel's. Okay, here we go.
yeah, D'Amico
Dan Campbell
Ryan,
shouldn't have won it,
Dan Campbell. Nah.
and the reason why I'm gonna say that is because the Lions were already on the rise. The
Yep.
Texans didn't have a shot in hell. Didn't have a shot in hell to get a division title.
What's going on,
They
Michael?
were labeled. I labeled even me. I labeled them as a 7 or 8 win squad, like
Hmm.
6, 7, or 8 wins, and that would have been a great season for them. But they
I
messed
had them.
around and won their division.
Yeah, I had them competing in the division
You
and
know,
giving Jacksonville a run for their money. I didn't think they was gonna win the division until I seen the stellar play from CJ Stroud and how Jacksonville was just biting themselves in the ass the whole season. So when you look at it like that, again, good morning.
like
Happening. Good day to you, Sam. I just feel
like
that Kevin
it probably would have
Stefanski
been
deserve
for
it. Now, Dan Campbell, you could have argued for it last season. I could give you that last season because of the turnaround he did for Detroit last season. I could give you the head coach of the year award last season, but this season, nah, nah, man. I'm sorry, can't do it. Can't do it. Moving on. Thank you for that question. Hit asks question two. This spring football league is getting closer and closer, but do you think the casual fan will be biased in their support, or will it not matter? Hmm, that's a really good question.
uh
I honestly
interesting.
think that there's going to be a lot of biased fans who, feel that the NFL is king, the NFL is the only real football, college and NFL football is the only real football out there, yada yada yada. I think a lot of those fans are actually going to watch. I think they're going to tune in this season. I think with the marketing that the NFL has been doing, well, Fox, I should say, has been doing for the UFL during the NFL games and things like that. I think that's going to play a major part in what happens as far as the outcome of the viewership. And I think we're going to get a lot of those, as me and Gabe call them, NFL fanboys, to actually start watching the UFL this season. And I think it's actually going to be beneficial to the viewership of the UFL. So I think it will matter. I think it will pay big dividends at the end of the day for the UFL moving forward, and even gaining new fans. You know what I mean, Arlington? Like taking some of these NFL is king fans, and all I'm going to ever watch is college or NFL, and they actually start paying attention to the UFL, and they're like, oh, well, this is actually good football, and it's football during the spring. That's good football, and it's professional football. And hey, I know some of these names. You know what I mean? They played on this NFL team, or they played on that NFL team, or I remember they were in college playing on this team. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it'll actually be really good.
Um, I agree. That the casual fan will support it. Like I actually talked to a couple of people last year that said, you know what, the and this was the XFL. The XFL is not bad football, and it's like I'll continue to watch it and support it because it's good football. How at this time
Hmm.
the UFL is doing a model closer towards the NFL, which I think that could also grab more casual fans.
Right.
And for them to say it will not matter, you have to understand the networks that are involved. You spoke about this earlier in the show that you have ABC, you have Fox, who are two linear broadcast networks that you can watch even on your digital box. Like you'll be
Hmm.
able to see those games locally, unless you got a dish and they start playing around with your dish stuff. But my
Yeah.
point is they're linear and you'll be able to see local programming. However,
Yep.
now in cable you have ESPN and FS1. So that means if you have
Exactly.
those stations, you can catch those on cable. So they wanted to make sure they provided cable and linear, right? So you'll have an opportunity to see those games. Okay, no more FX, no more USA,
Right.
no more NBC, which is fine. But the thing is, these two networks are right now the kings of football. With ESPN with Monday Night Football, and of course Fox with their Sunday coverage. I know CBS and NBC do their thing too, but they're not doing spring football. So right now you got two high quality networks within Disney and Fox, working together to provide a strong football telecast. So
Yep.
I think the casual fan will support it.
Definitely. I definitely agree with it because, like you said, just using those two linear networks and ABC and Fox alone can catch the eyes of those casual football fans who, oh, what's this? You know what I mean? They come across the game. What's this? Weren't these teams in the XFL and the USFL last year? Now they're playing against each other.
And
All
you
right,
get
I got to
curious
tune
about
into
it,
this.
right?
Now I got to tune in. You know what I mean? Now I got to tune into this. I got to see what this is all about. So I think that's going to be one thing that does help as well, especially catching a game on Fox. You know what I mean? And seeing those games on ABC as well before a basketball game or after a early basketball game or just any type of early morning sport that would normally be on. You know what I mean? What's going on, Brett? Welcome in, brother. How are you today? Um, what's Mysterio saying? Which is
Hmm.
going to be the first surprising city to get awarded a UFL franchise? Omaha, Colorado, Oklahoma City, Atlanta, or New Mexico? Oh, that's a good question, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Omaha, I feel could be one of the top destinations for an expansion team that doesn't have a destination already in either the USFL or the XFL. If we were to go to teams like that where they are outside of the current markets of teams that are currently in the UFL or were in either the USFL or the XFL last season, I think Omaha is one of those spots that could be first in line because there's a lot of football fans in Omaha, Nebraska. Trust me, I used to live out in Nebraska.
Let
I
me
know for sure. There's a lot of them, and like they
let me
love those
throw
Omaha Nighthawks.
let me throw this out there. I understand, and I hate bringing because Brett come in. Oh, let's finish the first season. Okay, I get that. we want to have some fun with this too. At the same time, Omaha. Does anybody remember the United Football League in
Mm-hmm.
2009?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think it was either that year or the next year, there was a team called the Omaha Nighthawks. Like people forget that there was a squad out there. And remember that iteration of the UFL, they went against the NFL.
Yep.
They actually competed broadcast wise against the NFL. And so at this rate, if they're able to get the Nighthawks, the name, and I would not be surprised in seeing that. I would not be surprised in seeing that. So here's the thing about Oklahoma City. Oklahoma is a big football state, but when it comes to pro teams, right now the Thunder's doing very well. They're doing
Yeah.
very well, and that could help. That could help them down the line when it comes for other sports. Um, but right now, I just don't see that as a viable option at this point.
And I agree with the rivalry or potential rivalry that could build with Oklahoma City and being close to Texas and stuff like that. But like you said, I don't think it'll be viable. I don't think it'll be viable. What's going on, champ? Welcome in, brother. I don't think it'll be as viable as a city like Omaha, a city like Colorado, Denver, Colorado. You know what I mean? Bringing back the Denver Gold. Um, hell, even any of the what other location? Hell, even Atlanta would be more viable than Oklahoma City. You know what I mean? But it wouldn't be as viable as Omaha. It wouldn't be as viable as hell, even probably New Mexico, because I think New Mexico is a
And the
sleeper
thing about
market.
Atlanta, Atlanta has a venue that they could use
Hmm.
for football. The old Turner Field that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
converted into Georgia State Stadium now, where the old Atlanta Legends played back in the AAF.
But I
It's popular.
definitely think Omaha would be one of those locations that would be prime because you really only
San
have.
Diego.
See, we know San Diego's a prime location. If San Diego was available right now, there would already be a team there. Trust and believe, there'd already be a team. We'd already have at least one or two teams on the West Coast because I think that if San Diego was available for them to utilize this season to launch the UFL, I think we'd have 10 teams in the league instead of just 8. I think San Diego would have been one of those markets that they tried to attack right away because they know how much of an importance football is in the communities in San Diego and the love of football and the game of football that these fans just want a professional football team. And I think that would have really done well for them as far as getting the team out there and having support and viewership and tickets being sold. So I think San Diego would have definitely been a bona fide team in this league right now if they were able to find a field for them, guaranteed. And then I think we would have had the San Diego team in the XFL conference, and then we would have had a Canton team in the USFL conference, and that would be your 10-team league right now. Then we'd be able to go back and look, next season, okay, now let's take it to 12. You know what I mean? And throw a team in either Seattle and grab up that New Orleans team and send them to Portland, send them back to Portland. Now you got the West Coast kind of filled in a little bit because now you got a San Diego team, you got a Seattle team again, you got a Portland team again, you know what I mean? And then we'd look at bringing back Oakland Invaders or the Denver Gold or bringing out a Vegas Gamblers or Vipers team back, something to bring that West Coast stability and tackle those West Coast markets, but still that takes time. You know what I mean? Because of so many teams being on the East Coast and being in the Midwest right now.
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
and that's the key thing. I know somebody had mentioned something about Oakland. I'm like, it's gonna be a tough sell
hmm,
because they're still trying to hold on to the A's at this point. I mean, even Vegas is blocking the A's from coming.
yeah, The mayor
Vegas is
changed their
blocking the
mind real
A.
quick.
She said, "Nope, I don't want it. You can find, you got to find somewhere else because you're not gonna be here." Because they were trying to, are they still gonna knock down the Tropicana? Or are they trying to save
That's
it?
that's the thing. We don't even know right now. It's at a standstill because
Mm.
I think they're still going to tear down the Tropicana. I think they're still going to tear it down regardless,
We just
but
put
it
up another
may not
casino instead.
be. Yeah, either put up another casino or another stadium because we have a NBA franchise team or expansion team coming soon.
But they
So
can't play in T-Mobile though.
you know how Vegas is.
But wait a minute,
Because
sir.
now you know the Michelob Ultra Center is mainly where the WNBA team plays now.
But
Um,
that's them. I'm talking
the
about
Golden Knights play
T-Mobile.
at T-Mobile.
That's what I'm saying. You telling me you
You
couldn't
know
add
the
an NBA
Vegas. You
team?
know how Vegas is. They want each team to have their own damn stadium.
I mean, they got the space for it. Then knock yourself out.
They
You
do.
got the
They
space
can
for it.
just tear down the Tropicana and build an NBA stadium right there.
I mean, that's exactly what the Clippers are doing right now. They on the
Because
arena that they put
they're
themselves out.
tearing down Sam Boy Stadium to open up the housing that's in between that Sam Boyd blocks off. That's why they're
Oh,
tearing down Sam Boyd and won't allow it to be used. You know what I mean?
oh,
To answer your question, John, real quick to answer your question, you said you could see Omaha, but I don't
former
think
Mark.
that I don't think that the UFL is going to try to expand into an NFL market. I think they're going to try to attack a market that doesn't have an NFL team, like San Diego, like Omaha. You know what I mean? Like Portland, because at the end of the day, why go after the markets that have NFL teams in when you can go after a market that don't have NFL teams, and now you can get those fans who wish there was a professional football team in their home city or closer to their home city that they can root for now and that they can go and support. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think that they would really try to, expand into an NFL market because it just wouldn't be right. Utah or Salt Lake City, yeah, I mean
They
it could
tried
work.
it, man. They tried it. They tried it
Yeah,
though. They tried
yeah,
it
they
and it
did.
didn't work.
Yeah, they actually did
They
with the
tried
Salt.
it
It
and
was
it
a
didn't
Salt Lake
work,
City
man.
team. It was a Salt Lake City team, and
That
that definitely
Stallion
didn't.
team,
Hmm. I mean, San
it didn't
Francisco.
work, man.
You could bring back the Demons if you can find somewhere to play. You know what I mean? Um,
If they allow them to play in Pac Bell, well, that's not Pac Bell anymore. What is that? It's the AT&T
Levi
Park now.
in
No,
Levi
they'd
Stadium.
never let them play in Levi. Uh-uh.
Oh no,
They
that's
can
the new
play.
San Francisco's field in Santa Clara.
They
You're
can
right.
play in the Giants baseball stadium. They've done it before.
Yeah, you can play there.
But
Um,
will they do it again though? That's the key
and
thing.
where in
Will they do
LA
it
would
again?
they be able to play? Mysterio. Where in LA would they be able to play? That's
They
the
have to play
question.
in those
About
soccer
bringing the Wild
stadiums.
Child back.
They would have
Yep.
to play in those
Have to
soccer
play in the
stadiums.
Galaxy Stadium. You know what I mean? Of course, bringing back Seattle. You know what I mean? But Portland, you got to if you're gonna bring back a Portland team, you got to just move the Breakers to Portland. They were originally the Portland Breakers. Why build up a whole new franchise in Portland when you already have a franchise you can send back to Portland since they're not currently in the league right now, anyways, in New Orleans. You know what I mean? Because they still would have to find somewhere for them to play in New Orleans, which would be hard because trying to get to the Superdome, trying to play in the Superdome, you know what I mean? That's gonna be a lot. That's like them trying to
They
get
could play at Tulane though.
Vipers to play in Allegiant, you know?
But see,
So
in New Orleans, they could play at Tulane though. You know what I mean?
yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. But why change them to the Portland Extreme when you already have them as the Breakers?
Because they right now is the New Orleans team. That's why. If you can get them down in Tulane for the Breakers, straight.
But call them the New Orleans Hurricanes.
Were they
Makes
a
more sense.
team prior? No, but you're keeping the old. You're keeping as much USFL and XFL, uh, I guess, nostalgia as you can, because that's what
Yeah.
people remembered. And so you want to. They say what's old becomes new again. That's what they're trying to do. And listen,
Yeah,
I understand the LA dynamic when it comes to football teams and stuff, and but they want a big market in play. But I'm like, you have right now your biggest market uh in the UFL is Houston.
yeah,
That's what's crazy. Your biggest
yeah.
market is H Town.
Or just the
If you
state of
go by what
Texas
the
in general.
broadcast schedule, the biggest broadcast markets, H Town is the biggest out of this group.
Yeah. So it's
So
definitely,
that's what you have to realize.
yeah, it's definitely something you have to look at differently than some of these other areas. You know what I mean? Because with Houston being the biggest market right now, and then you got St. Louis. You know what I mean? But I honestly think two teams in LA will be stupid. Whether you bring back the Extreme or the Wildcats, that'll just be dumb. Um, it would. I think having a team in San Jose wouldn't be bad. If you couldn't find a place in San Francisco, yeah, I would be okay with the Demons. You know what I mean? That's the thing. You got three different LA teams: the Wildcats, the Express, and the Extreme. That's all been part of the USFL or the XFL, and I just don't feel like having multiple. I don't feel like having multiple uh, California teams is or LA specifically. I don't feel having multiple LA teams would be worth it. I think
I don't think
having
having an
one
LA team
in
would be worth it at all. Period.
yeah, I don't think a LA team is needed. I think having a team in like San Jose, San Diego, Oakland, San Francisco, those would be the areas you should target in California. Those four areas right there would be where you should target. San Francisco, San Jose, or Oakland, excuse me, Oakland, San Jose, um, San Diego, yeah, and Frisco. You know what I
And
mean?
let's not forget, man. During that period, you looking at the Dodgers. Granted, the Angels, even though they're not the best now, the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Kings.
Hmm.
During that year, that's where people are going to go. They're going to go to that during that season. That's where they're going to be going, and it's going to be difficult to get a spring football team in LA. You already down at the bottom of the totem pole
Yep.
because the Dodgers are competitive, the Lakers stay competitive, the Clippers are competitive, and the Kings
The
stay
Kings
competitive.
are yeah, exactly. So
So that's
that's
what I'm saying.
four
That's
different
difficult,
professional teams that you have to compete with already.
right?
You know
And
what I
so that's
mean?
going to be
If you
hard.
spread them out, you spread them out to San Jose, spread it out to San Diego because you know San Diego's an area that's going to accept professional football regardless. So throw a team in San Diego. You could touch the San Jose market only because there's no professional teams in San Jose except for the Sharks. That's it. You got the San Jose Sharks in hockey. That's it. You know what I mean? There's no
And you got the
professional
what?
basketball
Are
team.
the earthquakes still out there? The MLS?
Oh yeah, you do got the San Jose Earthquakes, but that's just two professional teams where you could compete with. You know what I mean? In San Jose, you know, so you could take advantage of San Jose and San Diego. You could take advantage of New Mexico, Albuquerque. You know what I mean for sure.
Yo, give me the
Um,
Albuquerque Aztecs all day.
all all day long. You know what I mean? I'll be cool
If
with it.
you know,
I'll be
you
cool.
know. I- If if you know, you freaking know. Well, I just said
Even bringing back the Arizona
that.
Wranglers from the USFL, you know, that wouldn't be bad.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah,
You know what I mean? But I'm just
yeah.
saying LA is not a viable market for spring football. It really
Especially
isn't.
not now. Oh
No,
no, not now.
definitely
Unless they
not
are
now.
starving for it, they
Right.
ain't
And
got
LA
time.
ain't starving for it. They got two LA teams
Exactly.
now. So they're definitely not starving for it. Let's move on to another my bad. Let's move on to another fan mail question from Hit. Off topic. Where would you like to live if you could? It can be outside of the United States as well and outside the country, which would be the same thing. but
Uh, the Netherlands. The Netherlands, man. That's what I would
Yeah,
want to say. Because the
Amsterdam.
internet's yeah, yeah. The internet's the
Amsterdam,
greatest out there.
definitely. I can honestly say that if it's outside of the United States, it would be Amsterdam, Netherlands. Yes.
Okay,
Inside
let
of the
me ask
United
you.
States,
Yeah,
Colorado, because it's like a baby
give me a
Amsterdam.
reason not to come. Hey, give me a reason not to come to Vegas. Like, cause I would love to move there if I could. Give me a reason not to come out there.
I can't.
You can't.
I can't. That's why. That's the
You
thing.
can't.
Like I live in the best city in the United States to me.
That's what I'm saying. Give me a reason not to come out there. Cause I would, if it was in the states, probably would be Las Vegas.
Like in the states, if I had to move from Las Vegas, I'd go to Colorado. If I was anywhere else, it'd be Las Vegas because this city
Like
is
you have.
amazing. Like
Hey, that's what I'm
you have
saying.
everything 24 hours.
Uh,
Um, marijuana is legal. Alcohol is legal. Uh, other things are legal.
other things are legal. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. We can't really
Can't
talk
say it
about
all.
that on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, and in surrounding areas of Las Vegas, other things are legal as well. Um, this city has so much money, job opportunities. They're constantly building. Um, there's again job opportunities. There's so much money out here. It's just everything. Anything you could want. You want to go out, there's different things you can do as far as going out, whether you want to go to an upbeat type of club, a more type of jazz type of club, a low end, quieter setting. They got the bars, they got everything. I mean, everything. Attractions, uh, especially in the summertime, we got the water parks and Circus, the casino has a damn adventure park inside of it where it actually has a roller coaster and different rides and games you can
Yes.
split. So yeah, like
I
Las Vegas is the best city.
I visited there in November of 2022, and one of the
Didn't want
things
to
that was
live.
the highlight of my few days being there was going to a White Castle.
Mm, mm. Yes, we
Listen,
have White Castle out here
when
now.
you got
I
that
love it.
crave at 2 in the morning, Vegas time, baby, listen, it is everything, and and that experience was everything to me. Going out there and and I made the walk down the strip because I wanted to experience what the strip was like. Never had done it. It is. It is. It is very beautiful. If you haven't got a chance to do it, you should do it. Just be ready. Your feet's gonna kill you. What is that?
Yeah, 'cause
Your
it's
feet is
long.
going. Yeah,
It's a
because it's
long
very
walk,
long.
especially walking up one side and then walking back down the other so that you cover both sides of the strip.
Your
Yeah, because there's so
exercise
much.
levels are going to be your body. You're gonna feel everything all over your body, especially when you rest and you lay down. Everything gonna
Mhm.
tighten up if you're not loose.
John said water issues or did Lake Mead recover? I think Lake Mead all right. They cool. You gotta imagine the Hoover Dams right here, bro. We don't be tripping off water. They just be making them. They just be saying that crap to make news out here.
When
Don't
the
drink
barrel
this crap
breaks,
thing. Don't drink this damn tap water when you come out here. I'm gonna let you know right now. Do not drink the damn tap water. Just
it
like in
is
most
wrong.
states in the United States now, it's not good to drink tap water. But don't do that shit here because you're drinking Lake Mead. Just want you to know. You are drinking Lake Mead. I just need you to understand that, people. So you come to Las Vegas, bottled water, not the tap. Do not
All
drink
right,
from.
make sure I make a trip to Walmart then. Okay,
Yes,
got
please. So Denzel says he moved back to Salt Lake City. John says he moved to Puerto Rico. Mysterio said he moved back to
Chicago.
Chicago. Okay. Okay, but yeah, for me, if I wasn't living in Las Vegas, it'd be to move to Las Vegas. But since I live in Las Vegas, it'd actually be to Colorado, somewhere in
Listen,
Colorado, and
I
out
mean,
of the country, Amsterdam.
hey, H Town is a great city as well. Like seriously, it's just that if you're there, just make sure you got something established. Because if you
Yeah,
don't, it's gonna make it a really hard road for you to really establish yourself. Um, in a big city like that because it is a big city.
It really is. I used to live in San Antonio. Um, so I visited Houston a few times, visited Dallas, and those are huge cities, guys. Those are huge cities. And like you said, you just gotta establish yourself out there and get something going for yourself out in those type of cities that are bigger cities, you know what I mean? But out
I
here in
feel
Las
bad.
Vegas, you come out here to Las Vegas, you can throw a rock 2 blocks, and within those 2 blocks, there's a ton of jobs. A ton of jobs. Like there's so many jobs out here, and there's so much opportunity out here that you can turn in any direction and find work and find some type of hustle, selling bottled water, selling, chips and crap, candy and stuff like that. Like you could come out here with a couple $1,000 and be okay. You know what I mean? And set yourself up for success from the time you get out here. If you get yourself caught up in the nightlife and into the BS and all those get rich quick schemes and stuff like that, then you'll definitely, falter, and you'll definitely put yourself in a losing situation when it comes to surviving in the city of Las Vegas. But if you come out
Mhm.
here with your head on straight, and you got a plan, you know what you want to do, you come out here money motivated, looking to better your life, this is a great city to do it. And it's easy. You just got to be smart. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. All right, our last question of the day for fan mail on this episode of the Gridiron Podcast Show. Hit asked, if you gain superpowers of any kind, would you be a hero or would you turn into a villain? Mm, that's a good question. That's actually a good question, and I want to answer that with it depend. It I would say it depends on the superpower, but I think I'd just be a good guy. I think I'd be a hero. I wouldn't be a villain. I don't think I could just use power, well, superpowers for anything bad. I don't think I
Can I
need to. I
can I
don't
be a
know.
tweener? Can I be a tweener?
That's what I was thinking. Like, could I do
Or
both?
anti-hero? An anti-hero? I could be an
Yeah, like
anti-hero.
Venom. Could I be something like Venom?
Can I be an anti-hero, man? Like,
Look, that's
uh,
what John said. Denzel said he'd be a villain.
like
John said he'd be an anti-hero.
like Hancock, man, because Hancock was an anti-hero, you know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah, something
he
like Venom
he
or
would
Hancock. Yeah,
I just wouldn't be a drunk. That's all.
right. I wouldn't be a drunk. I'd
I
be a
just wouldn't be a
pothead.
drunk. Hey, then sir, you doing Hancock stuff wouldn't be the best adventures for you. You just go straight really be destructive. Cause you ain't gonna know where you at a
But I
lot of the time.
wouldn't, because I'm very, very. What's the word that I'm looking for? I don't even remember the
Dead
word I'm looking for right now. But
Deadpool.
I've been. Yeah. See, I'd be something like Deadpool. We cracking jokes. We're talking crap all the time. You know what I mean? Kicking ass, taking names. If you're trying to do something evil, I'm trying to stop you. If you're a good
Yeah.
guy, hey, I'd rock with you if you need my help, but you're not my friend. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if we don't
Enemies
agree on
enemies could
something,
definitely hate me,
then
man.
we enemies. You know what I mean? So yeah, I
I
don't
would
know. It just depends. Depends. I'd be something like Deadpool for sure, though.
I
Definitely
would be
something like
I would be
Deadpool.
petty at times, man.
Yeah.
I would be petty at times with certain people. Certain
I'd
people would
be
get the
super
petty side
petty,
of me, man.
cracking jokes. You know what I mean? Doing pranks, doing little petty pranks, just because. You know what I mean?
Said
Yeah, I'd definitely be something like Deadpool, man, for
I
sure.
would have I just be Hancock without the alcohol, man. That's all.
Question for you: are you ready for this Deadpool and Wolverine movie? The ladies call me the Punisher. Hate you right now, look.
right now. Hey, what's wrong with you people, dog?
But are you ready for this movie, man? Deadpool and Wolverine.
Um,
And what do you think the impact on the MCU that it will have? Do you really
oh
think
my goodness,
Deadpool is
dude!
going to be Marvel Jesus?
Right now, it seems like the MCU just been missing. Like,
Hmm.
they tried to do it with Madam Web. They've been trying
That's
to do it
Sony
with.
crap. That's don't. That's Sony's
Listen,
crap.
listen. I'm a big MCU fan. Okay, don't get me wrong.
Me
Right,
too.
I'm
Die
I'm a
hard.
big MCU fan. But it's like they missed with the Madam Web. Right, they tried to get it with the Marvels. The Marvels did not do so hot. So right now, where they're trying to base everything off of is their television series, on Disney Plus. A lot
And
of
they
people say, "Well,
played
I'm sick and tired of these six episode stuff that they're putting out." I was like, the reason why you're only getting that many because it's so freaking expensive to make
and on
that
top of that,
you can only get a mini series out of
some
each
of those
season.
characters that you're getting miniseries out of have movies, or
Exactly.
they're in the movies more so than anything. We needed a Loki series with
Oh,
8, 9 episodes, 6 episodes. However, I think we only got 6 episodes for each Loki series, but however many episodes we got, it told us a story of how he transformed from the god of mischief to the god of stories, and we needed that. The WandaVision series, we got 9 episodes because we needed that. They had the budget for it. We only got 6 episodes for Moon Knight, She-Hulk, especially She-Hulk. You gotta imagine how much money it costs for that CGI and stuff like that. You know what I mean? The production for a show like that. Echo, they played the hell out of Echo. I'm sorry, they could have did a better job with the Echo series. Um, this Marvel was pretty decent. I do like Amon Vellani playing Miss Marvel. I think she does a really good job.
Hawkeye was
And
actually good.
Hawkeye was good. I really enjoyed Hawkeye. Moon
All right,
Knight was good.
a lot of people were mixed with Captain America and the Winter Soldier,
I
and
was one of those. What's
you
going
was mixed.
on, Amanda? Welcome in,
You
love.
was mixed within it. And see, here's my thing: a lot of people were upset with the fact that, okay, all right, well, we're gonna get a black Captain America. Listen, it wasn't. The series was not bad. All right, there's a lot of people just were not believable of having Anthony Mackie's character being Captain America. And
Hmm.
it's like, who else could you put for real in that role, especially with him already being in the MCU? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So
And
it was
with
going to be
him playing the Falcon, no one boycotted for him to get replaced.
exactly,
And
but
you knew this
now
was eventually going to happen
it's
from
going
the
to
comics.
come.
Right. You knew it was
It's
going to
going to
happen from
come.
the comics, and you knew that the Falcon was eventually going to become a form of Captain America, just with the Falcon wings, and still his abilities with the Falcon as the Falcon, but also have the shield and some of the core, I guess you could say, ability, but not so much of the super soldier serum ability because he's
I got a
not
question.
getting Captain America's ability.
I got a question for you. Do you think Avengers Endgame sort of ruined the MCU, as in level of this is how a superhero movie should be? Like that they can't make, because it seemed like they can't make anything better than that.
Oh, but they can. And
You think
Secret
so?
Wars is gonna do it. Secret
Okay.
Wars is gonna be off the hook with the direction that they're going now, because I really do think that Ryan Reynolds and this Deadpool character is going to be the savior. I think this Deadpool and Wolverine movie is going to rewrite the MCU, or not so much rewrite it, but right its ship and put it back where it's supposed to be, because we're not in a good state. Like we were just saying, we were going over different shows and movies. Like the Eternals sucked. Oh my god, horrible. Thor: Love and Thunder did not hit like it was supposed to. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium was good, but it didn't hit like it was
Hit like it
supposed to.
was is
You
supposed
know
to.
what I mean? And Wakanda Forever was the truth. Was the truth.
but it wasn't what it was supposed to.
Wasn't what it was supposed to be because it was too damn long. You know what I mean?
To
And
tell
just the
to
way
finish
they
the
did the
story, right?
story, right? And the way they did the story. So I think they have a lot of recovery to do, and I think this Deadpool and Wolverine movie is going to do that. And I think that's the only reason. I think that's the main reason why it's the only full movie coming out this year for Marvel when it comes to actual Marvel putting out a movie, not Sony and Marvel. Like Madam Web, because you got to imagine Madam Web, Craven, Venom 3 are all coming out this year. This year. So we're getting a bunch of Sony Marvel movies, but we're only getting one actual MCU Marvel movie directly from Marvel, and that's Deadpool and Wolverine. And I think that's going to change the aspect of the MCU all over again and set up the Fantastic Four, set up Blade, set up the coming TV series like Daredevil Born Again, set up Spider-Man 4 because Spider-Man 4
Well,
the the big issue that Sony and Spider-Man or Sony and Marvel are having right now with Spider-Man 4 is the fact of how are they going to tell the story? What's the story going to be about? Is it going to be a more epic Spider-Verse level type of movie, or are we going to go down to the street level to where Spider-Man could start interacting with Kingpin like he did in the comics, and Spider-Man could
mhm.
start interacting with Daredevil and the street level characters like the Defenders and the Punisher and those guys like that? That's the big issue right now with moving forward with the Spider-Man 4 story.
Well, what about
You got the
the
Punisher
animated
coming.
Spider-Mans?
Well, that's the thing. That's another reason why there's such a standstill right now with the Spider-Man 4 story because the MCU wants to take Spider-Man to more of the animated Spider-Man cartoons level where he's fighting Kingpin, where he's fighting Bullseye and or not Bullseye, excuse me, Kingpin and Hobgoblin and the different characters that he was fighting against in the TV series and in cartoons and shit like that to where it's more comic book accurate. Sony wants to jump right into the Spider Verse. They want to go to Spider Geddon. They want to get to Spider Geddon quick, and that's the issue that they're having. And I think that's not good
Interesting.
for the Spider Verse. I don't think that's good for the Spider Verse at all. Like the way that Madam Web movie was. Oh man, I just it was horrible, man. Like the story sucked. All the different flashes and I guess you can call them premonitions that kept happening, and you're getting more premonitions than you're actually getting storyline. And the only thing cool about the movie was at the very end. That was the only thing cool about the movie was the very end, and
Mm.
I don't know. That was just it was horrible. It was a horrible movie. You didn't even get to see all the other Spider Women that's in the movie really in action doing anything in their suits. No, nothing. You see them for like 10 seconds in their suits doing something, and then you don't see them for the rest of the movie in their suits doing anything. So that whole crap we got in the trailer, that was just false advertising. It really was. Because Madam Web is horrible. It really is. I can't even lie. But thank you for that mail time hit. I really appreciate the love, brother. Definitely thank you for getting us into an off topic for sure. But what are you guys' thoughts on the Madam Web movie? If you've seen it already in the chat, let me know because I really would have. If even if you guys watch the show after we're live and you catch the video on demand, let me know what your thoughts are on the Madam Web movie because I checked it out and it was trash. Um, I think it's going to ruin the Spider Verse in Sony, and I think it's going to give Marvel more control over the Spider Man character moving forward, which I hope. which allows for better storylines. Um, are any of you guys excited for the Sony Spider Verse movie lineup that they have coming out for the rest of the year, which would be Craven and Venom 3? Let me know how you feel about that because that's going to be interesting. And then we got more UFL talk next week. Gabe should be back. We will be diving in more into the rosters, especially once the rosters are released. We got training camp that started today again. 36 days away from the kickoff, guys. Make sure you go and get your tickets for those who are going to be attending home games, away games, hell, UFL games in general. Damn it! Make sure you guys go and get your tickets. Tickets are on sale now. Thank you, Los. John says I could think of several ways to spend 2 hours of my life. Waste of IMAX. Yeah, Madam Web was horrible. Madam Web was horrible. Spider Verse animated as well, box office otherwise. Yes, they do. Into the Spider Verse, Across the Spider Verse, and the new one Beyond the Spider Verse, I think is going to be off the chain because I think Beyond the Spider Verse, we're going to transition from animated into. I think the movie's going to start off animated and actually end live
With
action.
live action.
To
Like
where
you
Miles
got a little bit of it. You got a
in
little
Across the
bit
Spider
of
Verse.
it in
Hmm.
Across the Spider Verse. So yeah. It'd
So I
be
think
interesting to see what pulls off for that one, man.
I
Like
think
it can be
Beyond the
done.
Spider Yeah, it
It
can. We've
can.
seen it can. And I think Beyond the Spider Verse is going to make it happen. I think that's when we're going to get a real actual crossover like we got from Space Jam, you know what I mean, back in the day. But I think this is where Miles Morales live action character comes into play into the MCU. So I'm really excited for
Ooh,
that,
that
man.
conversation's for another time, dude. Like who would play
Yes. Yeah,
Miles Morales?
definitely. Who would play Miles? You know what I mean? Make sure you guys go and check out A Train and Dirty on the Fuel.
Sports Network.
How would I even announce it on the channel? Like how would we even is it still the U Fan Legion or is it the Fuel Fan Legion?
It's actually the thing was we can't change it on Facebook for like 60 days. So that's why we have to keep it as such. It's
Okay.
still it's the Fan United Experience Legion. And so it's we the acronym is Fuel. And so right now we're getting some kinks together. Stay tuned. Next week we'll have a big rollout of things that we got going on. And that gentleman right over there is going to be a part of it. And just stay tuned, man. We'll have announcements and stuff. Make sure you go. Right now, it's You Fan Legion, but we're going to change it. It's going to be Fuel Wing on Facebook.
Yes, sir.
We're going to have the announcement, the formal announcement and stuff, and we'll get everything together, and it's going to be a blast, folks. Be
Big
ready.
things are coming. I was hinting
Hey,
at it earlier and I'm like, I can't tell y'all.
get
See,
y'all streaming TVs together. That's all I'm going to say to that.
that's all we gonna say. That's all we gonna say. Get ready.
Get
Because
ready,
your
man.
Roku and your Fire Stick are going to come into play in a big way.
Yes,
And
sir.
that's all we got.
Ooh, that's a great way to say that.
You know what I mean? Your Roku and your Fire Stick are going to come into play in a big
In a
way.
big way.
In a big, big way. So get ready. There's a lot of things coming. Make sure if you don't already follow A Train on any of his socials, make sure you do so. If you want to go ahead and let everybody know where they can follow you at.
Oh, no problem. Just follow me at the A Train Show on Instagram and Twitter, and then you can also follow X Fan Show on, excuse me, on Twitter. All right, and make
Yes, sir.
sure you follow Fuel. We'll make sure we get all that information out. Fan United
Yes.
EXP on Twitter.
And another announcement's coming next Saturday, right here on the show. In
Trust me,
regards,
I think next week is going to be a big
it's gonna be
announcement.
full of announcements. So just
I
letting
think
you
it's
guys
gonna be
know.
big. So just be ready.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna hint at anything for today. I'm not even gonna hint at it because I might give away something.
Too much,
And
right? You know what? You wait
I
too
still
much.
gotta talk to Gabe. So once I talk to Gabe, Exactly, Amanda. We are all over the place. It's going down, guys. Like it's going down. All these shows that
Like
are,
wildfire.
you know, a part of the X Fan Legion, U Fan Legion, Fuel Fan Legion. Every show that's a part of the Fuel Legion, I'm telling you, big things are coming, and we're all over the place. And we're getting a lot of things in the works going and moving and shaking and grooving. So you guys get ready, man. Just sit back and relax because when the announcements come, y'all are gonna be like, holy moly, donut shop. That's all I can say. Because there's gonna be so much that's coming with these announcements, man. There's gonna be so much that's
We're
coming with
gonna have
these
to figure
announcements.
all this out. Yeah,
You go,
quick.
yeah, you know what I mean? So, also, you guys know how I get down. If you want to send over your fan mail questions, send them right there to that email address, thegridironpodcast@gmail.com. That's thegridironpodcast@gmail.com. We will be soon. I know I keep saying this, but soon we actually will be moving the show over to the Gridiron Facebook channel, the Gridiron YouTube channel, and another secret location that will be coming coming weeks. So make sure you guys go and subscribe to the Gridiron Podcast YouTube channel and make sure you follow the Gridiron Podcast Facebook page so that whenever we start going live directly off the page in our other secret destination, you will be ready to go. You will be already live and active and ready to see my beautiful mug and Gabe's beautiful mug and all the guests we have, like my guy right there, the one and only, the A Train. You know what I mean? So just be prepared, man. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to the channel. Also, speaking of my co-host, Double G Gabe Garcia, make sure you guys go and send your fan mail questions for Gridiron Nation Podcast over to Gridiron Nation Podcast at gmail.com. That's Gridiron Nation Podcast at gmail.com. And you can follow Gabe on all his socials right there on Twitter, X, TikTok, Instagram. I'll get the Gridiron Vodcast YouTube channel as well. I'll get that information up on the ticker for you guys as well for next week. So you'll make sure to have that. And last but not least, as always, make sure you guys go and check out the new Gridiron merchandise store. Links on the pages, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on YouTube, Twitter. You can find it all. Check the posts, check everything. Go check out the Gridiron merch store. Get you some Gridiron merch because I'm gonna be getting me some new Gridiron merch soon. So I'll be representing on the show for sure. But make sure you guys go and check out the Gridiron merch store and get you some new merchandise. A Train, I want to thank you again for tuning in with me. And yes, Jersey is worldwide. Yes, we are worldwide. We're gonna be worldwide, y'all. We're gonna be worldwide. I can't wait. There's so much that's coming, man. There's so much. I'm just so excited, yo. I'm so excited. I really am.
Worldwide, baby.
It's so hard to keep all of this in, y'all. When I
Got to.
say it's hard, it's so hard for me and everyone else to keep all this in because there's so much excitement that's coming with what is coming. So
It's a
just
lot of
get
moving
ready,
parts.
y'all. Get ready, y'all. Like you said, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things happening, and this is all happening before the launch of the UFL season, if I'm not mistaken. So we got a lot of big things coming, especially with the launch of the season. So just just be prepared, guys, because your minds are going to be blown when you see the level of greatness that we're taking all these podcast shows and just the Legion itself and what we're doing. So when you see what's next, oh, you're going to be ready for it. But again, happy Saturday to you all. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Make sure you check out the PFL Bellator pay-per-view today if you haven't already. It's coming on today. PFL champions versus the Bellator champions because PFL just recently acquired Bellator late last year, and now they have this huge roster. And if you're into MMA, this is definitely something to go and watch because the style of the PFL, the way their league is set up, is different from the UFC. You know, their promotion is different. They're a league style. They do playoffs and things like that. So it's totally different. Their fighters fight a hell of a lot more in the PFL, like back-to-back fights, than they do in the UFC. So make sure you guys go and check that out today. PFL versus Bellator, big pay-per-view, live on ESPN pay-per-view, I believe. So make sure you guys go and check that out. But I will see you guys next week. Like I said, pray for Gabe and his family. There was a family emergency. That's why he wasn't here today. Make sure you guys go and pray for him and, you know, send your blessings over to him so that their family is doing well. And hopefully he will be back next week. And we will make our big announcement next week and go from there, guys. So you already know, man, this is the Gridiron Podcast Show. I am Jersey the King. This week, we had a special guest, my man, the A-Train. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in. And until next week, I holla.
I told you I'm here to get it, cause baby I'm in my prime. So if you want it, come with it, nobody dimming my shine. Been a long time, homie, since I first got down. Still on top of my game, forever play to the crowd. When I'm in front of a mic and I'm in the spotlight, the Gridiron, man, we taking y'all on a flight. Always coming for the hardcore, this is what I work for. Got 'em feeling for some more, they yelling encore. Verbally, I'm bringing heat to the streets. The flames spitter, my squad, nothing but winners, and you'll never see a quitter. Cause adversity is part of the plan, just as sure as you go, always bob your head to the jam. So turn your volume up, you can see me up on your screen, kicking knowledge like you need it. Y'all some football fiends, bringing heat at 100, we the realest around. Welcome to the Gridiron, baby, it's going down now. Like the music buzzing in amps, when I hit the end zone, fans are rocking the stands. Cause I'm an on and on until the break of the dawn. Not Zeke, but I'ma eat the way I'm seeing the film. It's the battle hymn, homie, gonna bang in your ear. And when they hear it, they gon' know the Kings is here. On and on until the break of the dawn. Not Zeke, but I'ma eat the way I'm seeing the film. I'm here to get mine, never gonna dwell on the past. Always moving forward, I won't take my foot off the gas. And I'm ready for the battle and whatever may come. I fight from up in the saddle, go and beat that war drum. If you want some, get some, wicked about to get dumb. Got the crowd getting loud, everybody heads sprung. Hitting hard and coming stronger like a buck from a cage. Like Micah, I'm a lion busting out of my cage. Cause y'all ain't holding me now, I'll break your bury you down. Go and check your books, cause there ain't no play to be found. They can counter what I'm bringing, you ain't figure me out. Hitting suckers from their gut to their chest and their mouth. And now we steady climbing up to the top. You trying to get on our level, they watch your ass get dropped. Yo, it's your boy on the track, the OG double G. I'm rolling with the heavy hitter, yeah, that's Jersey the King. Let's get it.